let's do a cheers to the Sobeys and Safe Liquid Beer for the podcast.
We ride again.
I love you guys.
Careful, that cake's hot.
4, 3, 2, 1. It is all over. The Edmonton Oilers have won the Stanley Cup.
For the win. Draisaitl centers. McDavid tips it home. Game over.
Gretzky going in. Suter trying to get back.
It's the 6 o'clock and check-in. Come on, let's go.
And he scores. Leon Draisaitl.
It's the A.M. Nasty Big Hello.
And there it is. Zach Hyman.
It's the cool band, Red Hot, Nielsen Show. Let's go.
The Oilers pouring it on. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Smith from behind the net, a wraparound. Horcoff scores. Edmonton wins.
Everybody tune in, even my wife.
on the fly.
And those Macramala intros are cutting like a knife.
That is an absolutely pitifully bad call.
Hey, it's Mitch texting in. He's your dealer for life.
It is Marchand scores.
It's back at 6 o'clock and lager with some sirloin.
McDavid, beautiful move. What can you say?
Let's see the praise.
Here they come, the Oilers. It's dropped back. Lookberger shoots, scores! Lookberger! The Oilers win it!
The Oilers have won the Stanley Cup.
Oh, what's going on, everybody? Dusty and Lieutenant Eric with you this morning. And look,
Actually, you know what? No, I shouldn't be
Oilers
doing
and
that.
6 is still alive.
I shouldn't be doing that.
Oilers and 6 is still alive. It's not done yet.
They'll win the next two at home.
I would like to congratulate, according to many of you, and don't look. We had people texting in when they were down to the Canucks 2-1 and 3-2. It's over. It's done. It's over. It's over. It's over. Same thing said after the Dallas Stars series, or midway when they're down 2-1. It's over. What they do? They beat Dallas 3 games in a row. They're in a tougher spot right now. Nobody's going to deny that. But it's not over. Like people last night were acting like it's a best of 3 and the Panthers just swept them. What do they say about home ice, Rick?
Well, usually you get like the last change. You can home ice gives you the ability.
Not the exact saying I was looking for.
Paraphrase
But the exact saying I was going to say is the series doesn't start till somebody loses on home ice. And I don't know. Last time I checked, nobody's lost on home ice just yet.
This team has had their backs against the wall the entire damn season.
Yeah.
I mean, look. But I guess though there's one word this morning, and that is attrition. To which you kind of.
I mean, that's a very good point.
And that wasn't the case at the beginning of the season. It wasn't the case. I mean, you mentioned the series here.
They managed to stay healthy pretty much the entire year.
We were knocking on this desk
Yeah,
all
so
season
many-
long.
so
I was
many
reading
wood
Brady
knocks.
Stonehouse till I was blue in the face, but now it just seems, and that's the thing. And I said last night we were kind of joked, and it was kind of not a must-win, but losing in that fashion, to which everything
That's a good
else
point.
going
That's a good
around
point.
on the edges, and that was a bad one. That was a tough one. Can they? Is it over? No. I could see them coming back and winning 2. But, I mean, 6 shots, forward group, 1 goal. I mean, there's so many things will impact.
That's the
but
biggest part. Like, the biggest part here is they can't generate anything
You feel they're
offensively.
running off fumes, in a sense.
they just
Kane can't
generate.
play. I mean, it's just...
They cannot get anything going offensively. I would assume the power play strikes here at some point. But the Edmonton
another.
Oilers are 2 games into the Stanley. I would have never thought you'd say this. The Edmonton Oilers are 2 games into the Stanley Cup Final, and they do not have a goal from a forward yet. Like that's the storyline.
Worrying. Very concerned.
And Bobrovsky in game 1 stole it. He was brilliant. He didn't have to be brilliant last night. They just couldn't generate anything last night. It'll be interesting to see how some of these injuries play out. Barkov left the game. did not return. We'll obviously discuss the Draisaitl hit as we work our way through the show this morning. Darnell Nurse was very limited, tried it a few times, couldn't really make it work. So we'll see where that goes as well. For some of you, you might be stoked about it because nobody wanted Darnell Nurse to play anyway.
Well.
So, I mean, come on. We'll see how this plays out, but I think you make a good point as far as some of these injuries. Now, I mean, all of a sudden, if Barkov can't play in Game 3, then things certainly change.
Do you subscribe to the theory, in fact, as well, that if Barkov can play Game 3, and depending on when we find this out,
well, that's
another.
No.
Okay.
I'll just say that, kids, it's the 6 o'clock hour. It's earmuffs. If Draisaitl gets suspended because they list Barkov as questionable for Game 3, it's a bullshit play by the National Hockey League. There, I said it. Like, Leon Draisaitl did not chicken wing this guy. Yes, his elbow made contact with his head.
Kind of left his feet.
But he was in like this. He was tucked in like this. So he's not getting suspended. He's not getting suspended. He might get fined, but he's not getting suspended. And I thought they got the call. Thought they got the call right. I saw some people last night. The post game was just a cesspool last night. I saw some people saying that shouldn't even have been a penalty. It was clearly a penalty. But yeah, we'll see how that sorts itself out. I don't think there'll be a suspension out of that. But the National Hockey League, like we said, and once again,
there will be a suspension.
I saw a lot of people last night like blaming the officials for the Oilers' loss. Once again, I will disagree with those takes. But I also did tweet last night, and I'll stand by this morning. The officials last night had no clue what they were doing on either side. Like, they had no clue. None. Like, they're just, the game is too fast, and they can't keep up. They can't keep up. It's that simple. Both sides. Like, the Foegele one being 5-minute major because the Panthers player decided to lay down on the ice until they make sure it was a 5-minute major.
Smart play.
Brilliant move, I guess.
No, that's what it is.
But when the officials are dummies, you can suck them into that. There was no difference in the Foegele hit and the Bennett hit. None.
But would you not play to a dumb official?
Well, yeah.
Their weaknesses?
I mean, you need to start playing up to these officials are absolute simps, and you can probably talk them into anything.
Why not?
So, yeah.
Join the fun.
But once again, the officiating's not the reason they lost the game. So this is not but I'm telling you, the officiating, just overall, both ways, is sad. It was sad last night. They lost it. They couldn't get it back last night. The Oilers have had 7 power plays in this series, haven't scored yet. That's what this is about. That's what the issue is here for the Edmonton Oilers. They cannot get anything going offensively.
You can't go down with the lack of offensive production and just say, well, the officials. Like, that's isn't how this thing's going to end.
No, that's not what, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
the reason they are losing this series right now is because they can't score. End of story. There's no other angles to it. That's the reason. They can't score. That's why they're down 2-0. It's not officiating. It's not Skinner. My God, some of the Skinner takes last. Oh yeah,
really?
Oh yeah, man.
I'm searching this up.
No, yeah, yeah. It was the post game show. It was. Go look at my replies to my tweet. People are like,
"Oh, I see one. I see one."
Don't start a tweet with, "I'm not blaming Skinner, but." Don't do that.
What about they're paying Skinner?
Skinner,
you started like that.
Skinner could have the same save percentage as Bobrovsky right now, and they still wouldn't be leading this series. They can't score. Okay? That's the issue. Now, maybe, the one thing we know that this team certainly can do and has done all year is score. So maybe it's coming, right? Like if there's one thing that the Oilers needed to do when they get back on home ice is score goals. Well, the one thing that the Oilers have consistently done best all season is score goals. So maybe that's coming at some point. Well, it has to be coming at some point.
The team knows everything about bad starts this season, right? I just think this is the grand story to kind of wrap things up. If you were to take this season from the very start and look through everything this club's been through. Now, again, I mentioned the attrition factor, which is kind of rearing its ugly head. But man, oh man, what a story it would be, down 2-0 on the road. And that's why I said start on the road. You don't have everything to play for. Like, yeah, they will literally don't lose on home ice. Yeah, whatever. It's a funny, but again, you can't tell me that the crowd down in Sunrise and the emotion and the action down there. Now, I know that injuries, banged up and everything on the ice, but I just think the feeling, you like them at least one here. I I could see them getting both. Find your scoring. You get back here. Why not? I just think this team, all year, they've been doing that. And people are like, nope, they're counting them out now. Now is the time I count them out. Now is the time we count them out. I get this is the end. This is the final big boss, and it's a tough one. But I just think you'd be doing this team miles of injustice by not giving them a chance here when they've been behind the 8 ball all season long. That's all they know is coming back from behind the 8 ball.
Can I tell you a little story about a little guy you may have heard of in the past? Sidney Crosby. Down 2-0 to the Detroit Red Wings when they won the Stanley Cup. What happened? They lost the first 2 games in Detroit, went home to Pittsburgh, 1-2, went back to Detroit, lost game 5, went back to Pittsburgh, won game 6, beat Detroit in game 7 to win the Stanley Cup. Like it has happened before. At some point, it will happen again. They're not down 3-0 yet. I mean, we'll see what happens in game 3. But you win game 3, it's a 2-1 series. They've managed to come back from 2 other series when they were down 2-1. So,
but do you see this team winning 4 straight after a game 3?
I mean,
that would be a thing. And I know we're looking ahead here a little bit, but
4 straight?
Yeah, like after
Like
if they drop 3.
To hit my Oilers in 6? Oh, no. I mean, if they lose game 3, it's over.
Yeah,
if they lose game 3, it's over. They're not coming back down 3-0. But if they win game 3 at home, that's 3 games. The home team won all 3 games, and the Oilers would be the home team in the 4th game. So let's see where it goes from here. It's not looking great, but it's not over yet. Think about what people were saying after 2-1 against Dallas. We saw the text messages. We have them. We have the receipts. They're just sitting here. What did they do? Not only did they come out and stay alive, they came out and dominated for a couple of games and then hung around and won in 6.
People were wrapping the season against the Canucks.
Of course
people were putting the bow on it.
At 2-1
and again, we have the
and
receipts.
3-2.
We got them all here. It's
all they have to do is win the next game, and then we reset everything and talk about game 4. They looked awesome in game 1. So it's not like they've had 2 games where they just looked like garbage. They looked awesome in game 1. Couldn't score on Bobrovsky. They did not look awesome in game 2. Game 2 was not a good game.
Maybe that's
from the Edmonton Oilers.
You come out of game 1, you are a little encouraged aside from the result, right? That they're playing and they can hang with all that stuff. But again, as I said, last night not a must win, but the nature in which they lost, that was the stinger. That was the
Then you're looking at them going, wait, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Right? You'd feel better if they lost again, but they were awesome.
That same type of game or whatever.
So anyway, we'll get to that. Let's lay out the show for you. You can hit us up, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. And guess what? We're going to go into the fan zone here right away. Right away, we're going to get into the fan zone. But you can text us, Paris Jewelers inbox, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. The Paris Jewelers inbox is going to take an absolute pounding today, so make sure you get in there, 780-218-9999. Family-owned and operated with 22 stores in 4 provinces across Canada, large and high-quality selection of engagement rings and lab-created rings at great prices, including the Star Wars and Marvel wedding bands, if you really want to nerd up your wedding, which I think would be very cool. Hop online at parisjewelers.com for more on that front. Of course, one of you will win text of the day today, which will get you a gift certificate to our wonderful friends over at A&W. And you can go for, what about taking your significant other out for a romantic whistle dog and going full-blown Lady and the Tramp on those 2 things? No.
With the relish all over your face.
Oh, that would be good. Just messy and gross and slightly sexy. But the Whistle Dog is back at A&W. You can get it at all of their A&W locations. They love to make it for you. And I got it. I got one of the 2 that I had on Sunday. It was split, but the wiener had been pushed back together. And
okay.
I just went with it.
Oh,
I just went with it. Because I had another one that was already split. This one was split, but the 2 sides had kind of come back together. I was like, you know what? I'm a risky boy. Let's try to do this.
That's just the dog doing its own thing in the bun. As long as it's split initially. That's
all it is.
Yeah.
Okay, let's lay out the show for you. By the way, morning announcements brought to you by 100.3 The Bear, Edmonton's best rock, Yukon and McCord, every single morning. Jess Jackson on the way home in the afternoon. We got a jam-packed Tuesday show for you here on a Tombstone Tuesday. Hallowed, everyone.
Hallowed.
Yes. Morning after show coming up here around 6:30 after we dive into the fan zone. So keep those text messages rolling in. We're going to get to your reaction on the Game 2 loss immediately. Jamie McLennan is going to join us today. Noodles is flying tomorrow because he's coming on out here for games 3 and 4. So Noodles is going to join us today. We'll get Button tomorrow. The $100,000 hole-in-one swing to win with Edmonton Sports Talk and Golf Town. We'll go there around 7:20 today. Cool Bet Hotline of the day. Weekly Confessions, 7:30 today for Spectrum Rental. What do you need to confess? We'll get into that. Kurleigh Gittens Jr. targeted heavily in that first game by MBT, his old friend from the Toronto days. Wide receiver for the Edmonton Elks, Kurleigh Gittens, will join us over the phone around 7:45, 7:50 today. Kind of easy trivia for Mr. Mike's. 3 questions too many for Park Mazda. That hurts for SBLLP. Gager will pop by just after 8:30. I know he only wants to talk Canadian Grand Prix because it was an amazing race. But we're gonna force him to talk Oilers and Panthers for sure.
Maybe a look ahead to Spain.
Wouldn't that be something? Great Outdoors Comedy Festival. We got a chance to qualify for a VIP table there as well. And then the wrap for William Huff. All of that is on the way this morning. But let's dive in to the Fan Zone right now for Fans First. Welcome to the Fan Zone, everybody. 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. By fans, for fans, no fees. Get your tickets for the Oilers Cup run, games 3 and 4. Our Lady Peace and Shania downtown. No big deal. www.fansfirst.ca is where you get those tickets, no fees. Great response from people who've used that Fans First service. So if you're looking for tickets to games 3 or 4, first of all, wherever you go, they're not going to be cheap, but you can get them a little bit cheaper over at Fans First due to the lack of ridiculous fees. So check them out, www.fansfirst.ca. Shall we get into it? Shall we get into the inbox today?
Piece?
No,
Yeah.
no. That's okay. All right, let's get into it. 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. Let's start with this one. No handle on it.
Oh.
Skinner, not the reason they lost, but I didn't like any of the goals. Oh, boy. Sit Kane. Gagne magic time, refereeing atrocious, ice was garbage as well, puck bouncing everywhere. Seen that Oilers flash chick on Barstool. Okay, I'm not going to finish reading that one. But, I mean, just a quick, I know Fans First is like we get into, but I got to talk. What are we talking about with Stuart Skinner? The one Bouchard literally passed to the guy, and then they shot it through a double screen. You're going to blame that one on Skinner? Are you nuts? The one... A guy was allowed to take a clapper from 20 feet out, and the puck was on edge, and it basically knuckled down and passed him. This is not on Stuart Skinner. Stop texting in about Stuart Skinner. They have 0 goals from the forwards in 2 games. 0 goals.
To play devil's advocate, and I did think I see someone replying to your tweets last night, and the term was bailing them out. In terms of Stuart Skinner, bailing them out in a moment, bailing them out after a big mistake by a boot. Like
it doesn't matter.
Okay.
They have 0 goals.
Yeah, no, I
they have 0
that,
goals.
Yeah.
You can bail. So what's he supposed to do? Have back-to-back shutouts? That's what he's supposed to do.
Asking a lot. Yeah.
Come on, man. Like that's ridiculous. Ridiculous take. All right, 780-218-9999.
Dan, morning, boys. 0-6 versus Paul Maurice. That was a pathetic performance last night. 1 goal in 2 games. 29 has a good chance of getting suspended. Goal now is to not get swept, unfortunately. The Fan Zone.
The Fan Zone.
And that was nice. He had his points, and they were separated by dashes, so it was kind of...
Did he say the Fan Zone at the end of it?
I wish he did.
God,
But,
I wish.
Tag your text.
If you're really going to come up with like a real fire text, let's go full caps Fan Zone at the end of it. Fan Zone.
Fan Zone.
Right? I think that's what you probably have to do. Hey, Dusty, it's piss jug. It's not over until you lose at home. Well, Oilers know that they have to do, and that's the same things what the Panthers did. Take care of business on home ice.
Here's one. William Ekblad, nice to see you. Good morning, boys. I agree with Dustin. You could talk the refs into any call last night, except, of course, the obvious puck over the glass, which is supposed to be black and white. And that's one at a time where the Oilers could have gone up 2.
It would have been a 5-on-3.
At a time in the game where it's still in the balance. That was a thing that...
I mean, how can you ask 4 officials on the ice to see the right play?
Well, then
Rob is that asking too much?
Rob McLean, next year they'll implement a review and we move on. That was it. Can't do much right now, and that is the... But, man...
I mean, I know
it
was
close. At a moment in the game, though, a key moment in the game.
I know it was close.
Yeah, but...
But, I mean, what's the rule? Like, does it have to be inside the blue line or right on the blue line?
I think it has to be fully out.
That was, yeah. It has to be fully out?
And
because that was on the blue.
Yeah, but not close to being fully out.
But,
you know?
I mean, I guess
That was a moment I
all
could-
4 guys just. I mean, what are you watching?
Well, why
That's
even,
the puck.
Why huddle
You're
up about
watching
it?
the puck.
Why huddle up about it if
Yeah.
you can't change it? You're adding more frustration, pretty much telling people that you know that it's wrong and we can't do anything about it.
What are you supposed to do?
The
All right.
fan zone.
It's not looking great, but it's not over yet. As inspirational as it can get, down 2-0 in the Stanley Cup Finals, you get #FanZone. That's in from Jay-Z
Your boy
this morning.
Stupid Asso here. That was easily the worst officiated game I've seen this playoffs both ways. When they got together and still missed that over the glass call, I mean, come on, man. Not the reason they all lost, but the NHL has a real problem with the refs. The fan zone. That's Stupid Asso there.
Stupidasso.
Great handle.
Yeah, that's a good one. Lacombe Drew is in and says, guys, Dusty, can we get an update on Marshall? Was he trying unsuccessfully to suppress the tears like my little guy who wants to be known as Lacombe Pita moving forward? I like that. I like a little guy being known as Lacombe Pita. It's a great handle
Get it
in the
going
fan
early.
zone of all places. When Marshall went to bed last night, it was 1-0 after 1. And it was already
Sweet
it was already like
dreams to
8:40.
you.
I knew that it was 1-1. Like we watched we had baseball last night. Great ball game by Marshall last night, by the way. Couple great plays at second base. I was very impressed. I wanted to pick him up, Simba Cam him right there on the field. Did you see the play my boy made? Did you see the play? It was good. So when he went to bed this is what I like to do with him. When they're in a good spot, I let him go to bed. Because then he's not devastated like all of you adults who went to bed last night, just furious. So he'll wake up this morning, he'll be devastated. I won't have to deal with it.
Cracking the paper at the breakfast table.
Mummy will
What
have to
is
do with
this?
it. Yeah. Let's check out the score of the game last night. So yeah, I'm sure it'll be a tough morning for him. I'm not gonna lie. It's not gonna be a great one.
Did you get the one from Timber Woodsman?
Have not got there yet.
Kane needs to sit. Maybe a bad take, but hopefully Nurse can't go. Fan zone.
Oh, the fan zone is on fire today. No handle guy texts in for the first time ever in the fan zone. Crazy. Oilers need to work hard. 89 in with 90 and 91 for a grumpy old man line. Oilers need to watch the most recent series against the Flames for inspiration. The fan zone.
The fan zone.
Man, that's really added to a lot of these text messages.
How about Hot Take Kev? I like this, and I'm sure we'll get to more of this following the post game in the morning after show. From a contrarian standpoint, I'm kind of glad the boys played a dud in a losing effort. Too many people view sports as a linear path, yet nothing could be further from the truth. This loss hopefully forces them to look in the mirror. We win Game 3. Have a great day, boys. The fan zone from Hot Take Kev. And I think you did mention on Twitter last night too the post game. From every single, I know.
Yeah, they I like the spot they're in. Like not the down 2.
No,
but
nobody does.
I think mentally I like the spot.
They're
Like,
not.
We're gonna give you McDavid's post game coming up here in the second half of the 6 o'clock hour, and I have to tell you, I was kind of impressed with it. So we'll get into that. Let's go 780-218-9999 780-218-9999 if you want to get in on the fan zone. Guys, put Gagne and Perry in for McLeod and McLovin. At least they'd have a pulse. #fan zone. You know what? The only people I think that have performed worse than the others did last night is everybody watching on YouTube and not hammering the thumbs up today. Like, I mean, you're watching on YouTube right now. We're trying to talk you off the ledge this morning, trying to get into your text messages inside the fan zone. I look over. We're not even changing 70 right now. What is this, amateur hour? We talk about bad performances? Step it up. Hammer the thumbs up over on YouTube today, all right? We'll get some more of your comments over on YouTube. Right now, we're full-blown into the fan zone. Spruce Grove Corey says, guys, I'm as big a fan of Gagne as anyone, but Sam going in now screams desperation. Yeah, they're not. I mean, I don't see Sam Gagne getting it. It's a fun little thing to read, like the text messages and stuff.
But I don't know if that's getting you out of anything.
The Dougler is in. This could be text of the day today. It's getting kind of heated. Do we need to go cool off? In the fan zone? The fan zone. Dougler, that's pretty good work, buddy. I like that. The Godfather's in and says, great story, but Dusty doesn't have the upper strength to pick up Marshall. It's true. Marshall's a big boy now.
I'm calling him Marshall Alomar from now on.
I'm
Would that
very
work?
weak.
Does he wear turtlenecks while he plays? I think.
Because he plays second? Is that what he does not have the typical build of a second baseman.
I would say
He's got first baseman written him all over him, and he's like one of the few kids on the team that can turn his glove and catch like this. But I think he played good at second last night.
Marshall Guerrero Jr. maybe more.
Proud of my boy. Proud of my boy. All right, Douglas, that's a good text. Fan zone's delivering today. Love it. Let me make a note here of the Dougler, possibly be a mix for text of the day. Burglar into the fan zone says Charles Barkley was so wasted. Charles Barkley just lives a good life, doesn't he? I think Charles Barkley lives a real good life. Dirty Curdy's in, right? How many times do we have to say this from Dirty Curdy inside the fan zone? The series doesn't start until the home team loses. Once again, correct, Dirty Curdy. Correct. Dave the Welder is in and says the Oilers need to shoot more. Refs suck for both sides. Rule is where your stick contacts the puck. I got my oats seeded yesterday. The fan zone. The fan zone.
Bam, 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 bam.
Now, that being said, he's not talking about like seeding his wild oats, right? Which is going around and making love to a bunch of randos. Dave the Welder is a farmer. I think he legitimately seeded his oats yesterday.
I like how this is the reverse from how you would normally. Yeah.
No,
it's not the sex.
This is not the movie Coming to America. That's not what this is. Remember, didn't he go to Queens to sow his wild oats?
We had the song. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure. Andrew to the fan zone today at 780-218-9999. My main concern right now is where Draisaitl. Where's Draisaitl? He's been invisible. Also, the PP had an extra pass or two in every single play and let up many chances just to shoot the darn puck. Andrew, fair concern with Draisaitl. I think he's only got 5 points in his last 9 games. That's weird.
Cooling off.
That's weird for Leon. I know they had that focus on him. The one shift he went off, went down the tunnel, came back. A lot of these guys are banged up right now. Leon will probably be no different.
But even his post game was.
Oh, his post game was good. He even said, it's on me. I was just like, man. Like McDavid and Draisaitl last night sounded like two guys who are coming home to win game 3.
Yeah.
They just did. But he's right on the power play. There's a few times, and once again, I don't like shoot guy at hockey games, and I don't like myself when I'm watching a game on television and I'm like, shoot it! Because they're obviously highly paid players, and the power play is usually ridiculous.
But if you hate it so much, what's dragging you there that's making you do it?
But there was a couple times last night on the power play where I was like, why are you not just shooting the puck there?
Not Block
just
said they got
put
good
pucks on net.
Good looks. Can't do much with looks unless you.
Yeah, you got to finish. You got to finish some of these looks.
Rob the plumber. The ice was terrible. The boys aren't used to the heat. They looked very flat. I still believe Oil in 6. The fan zone.
Okay, fan zone.
Bam, bam, bam. The heat, the ice.
Oh, so many things. All right, that's the fan zone for fans. Fans first. Changing 100. See? You can do it. You can hammer the thumbs up today. I get sad for people when you're so sad about the hockey team that you can't even hammer a thumbs up for your boys when we're bringing straight fire this morning.
And on a Tuesday at Gager's show, which, usually, he's the one in the picture.
Gager's 1,000 likes
He's
guy.
Mr. 1K.
We're not asking to be at 1,000 likes today. That would be insane. Right? But if we're not at 200 by 7 o'clock, we're shutting it down and going home. So hammer the thumbs up today. All right? Let's turn the tide. In fact, I'm sitting here saying, they're coming home. What do you need? What's the pick-me-up today? It's a 6 o'clock hour.
Yeah.
We'll do whatever. What do you need? Any suggestions on how we can pick things? Now, with that being said, right after this sports update here, I'm going to be playing the sad morning after show. That's ideal, but we got to do things. We got to stick to the plan. We got the morning after show for E.M Utility Locating coming up here just after 6:30. Jamie McLennan, Joaquin Gage, Kurleigh Gittens Jr. still on the show here today on Edmonton Sports Talk. Hangout today, lock shop today. 2 guys in the goalie today, presented by GS Construction. But let's get to a sports update right now with Lieutenant Eric, and on the great fan zone today for Fans First. If you're looking to get to a game right now and you need tickets and you don't want to pay a crazy amount of fees, fansfirst.ca. Go check them out. The reports that we've got from people so far have said it's been a great service. I've not used it. I'm going to just be honest here. I've not used it myself. I don't necessarily want to drop $6,000 to take my family to a playoff game. But if you're looking for tickets, they got them over at fansfirst.ca. Let's get to Sports Update with LT.
Edmonton Oilers now trail the Stanley Cup Finals 2-0 following a 4-1 loss in Florida. Mattias Ekholm scoring the Oilers' first goal in the Cup Finals to put Edmonton in front. Nico Mikkola tied things up for the Panthers, while Evan Rodriguez scored twice, putting Florida out in front for good. Aaron Ekblad finishing it off into the open net. Game 3 goes Thursday here in Edmonton. Last night on Edmonton Sports Talk, it was the Riverhawks shutting up the Kelowna Falcons 5-0 from Remax Field, opening a 3-game set. Game 2 tonight, first pitch 7:05. You can catch the action right back here on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Jays dropped the opener of a series in Milwaukee, 3-1 to the Brewers. Game 2 of the 3-game set tonight. Yusei Kikuchi scheduled to start. First pitch, 6:10. The Elks back on the practice field. They'll look to rebound following Saturday's loss to Saskatchewan as they get set to host the Alouettes on Friday. Tickets available at GoElks.com or at Ticketmaster. Elks wide receiver Kurleigh Gittens Jr. will join the program later on in hour number 2.
Being a fan of the Oilers today takes everything you got. Taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot. Wouldn't you like to have your say? It's the morning after show where we will talk about the game and let you know who you should blame. You want a show where you will know if the problems are still the same. You want a show every morning after the game. You want a show so people know if the problems are still the same. You want a show every morning after the game.
Alrighty, shall we dive into this? We will hear Connor McDavid's post-game coming up, maybe Draisaitl's too, or at least Connor McDavid's. But let's get into your morning after show for EM Utility Locating. Keep the text messages coming in. By the way, I got this nice sense, this nice feeling right now with the likes. What a twist. What a twist. We're almost at 150 now.
Yeah.
It's like people have re-engaged and they're like, series isn't over. Because it's not over just yet.
You have to bring on old daddy, and that's sometimes you have to do that.
Sometimes you need to have a chat with the
kids. You need to be a stern, but I think
we're almost at 200 now.
seems to lit a fire.
Let's hammer the thumbs up today. Let's be the people who lead the way as opposed to those who just follow only when things are great.
Yeah.
Right? Let's go. Keep those thumbs rolling in there. And if you've not yet subscribed, we're closing in on 9,000, we're almost to 8,900. So let's do that today as well over on YouTube. Let's get into your morning after show today, brought to you by great partners all season long over at EM Utility Locating. Don't kill yourself. Let them make sure things are safe for you. Call 780-222-9497, www.emutilitylocating.com. GPR and concrete scanning, damage prevention, planning, design, education, and training. All of that with our partners over at EM Utility Locating. The EST, big moment that happened. What do you think, buddy?
Well, I'm gonna go that puck over the glass, man. It's a point in the game where things are still in the balance. You give that, and again, I know we talk about the Oilers' flaccid PP as of late, but you give them a 2-man advantage with the game in the balance. Who knows? And then that also ticks off the officiating conversation, and then the whole kind of story of everything goes to that angle. So I'm gonna go with the missed call puck over the glass as one. The Mikkola almost scoring on Bob and then getting the goal though. That sequence. I mean, that was a big to go from potentially 2-0
backhanded on your own goaltender,
and you do that, and then, like I said yesterday, getting one past Bob was great, and they did. The 5-hole, I think his first 5-hole or whatever.
First five, yeah. I mean, that was the weakest goal.
But if he was,
the game was on Bobrovsky.
If it was a weak goal and then they get an own goal,
yeah.
I mean, you could maybe there's something there to pick at and unravel at. But from 2-0, then to tie it up 1-1. And then things go on from there. So the puck over the glass, plus the Mikkola sequence, I guess, not getting the own goal, evening things up, and away you go from there.
Ekholm with his 5th of the playoffs in the first period. Oilers are up 1-0.
I mean, there's a lot. The Nurse thing, too, you could argue. I know people don't like Darnell Nurse, but the minute munching and then having to...
I mean, to look, they basically played the entire game with 11 forwards and 5D.
Yeah.
Think about that for a second, too.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to come home and... On Thursday, they'll have 12 forwards and 6D out there to start the game, and you hope they'll have 12 forwards and 6 defensemen for the entire game. So, you know what? You might be right. You might be right on the over the glass call not being called. Like as far as big moments that could have changed a hockey game,
and it changes all the tone and discussion now too.
Yeah.
Not to say that the refs were saints, and I know you said the game did get away on them and everything, but that to me was that big exclamation point that we all know it wasn't. You can't go back, and I know the letter of the law, it's not reviewable, but man, oh man, what a bad look. Again,
780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. Super stat of the night. What's the super stat of the night, buddy?
Special teams. Not so special for the Oilers. Again, the PK gets a crack in the wall, right?
Finally
Which,
gets scored on.
whatever. I mean, again, as I said yesterday too, you could lose that game, but all these little losses appearing as well. And that maybe that doesn't end perfect, the PK, but Panthers found a way, and the power play still over here for the Oilers. But I'm going to go for the 6 shots from Oilers forwards. We talk about the lack of scoring.
Has to be the discussion point.
6
on
shots,
stats.
and 3 of which from McDavid.
Yeah. So the rest of the forward group combined for 3 shots.
Yeah, that's.
I mean,
Play whatever you.
that has to be.
Credit McDavid was zipping. Like he was.
The rest
Decent night.
of the Oilers forwards combined for 3 shots last night.
That is a hell of a thing for you to say to me.
Not sustainable.
Like that stinks. That stinks. Matthias Janmark, no shots. Henrique, no shots. Connor Brown, no shots. Foegele left the game, only played a minute 54. Carrick played 7.5 minutes.
And maybe
no
it's more
shots.
concerning where those all go. Again, 3 from McDavid, 2 from Dry, and 1 from Hyman.
Holloway, no shots. McLeod, no shots. Yeah, I mean,
it's just your top marquee boys.
McDavid had 3 shots. Draisaitl had 2 shots. And Hyman had a shot. And that's it. Nothing else from anybody else. And those guys obviously didn't finish their chances. This is why they had more power play out. They had more chances to shoot the puck on the power play, and they didn't do it.
Had the looks. You had the looks.
All right, your 3 stars from the hockey game last night. Obviously, Rodriguez was great. 2 goals. Lindell, a couple of assists. And Bobrovsky, the 947 last night. Your 4th star of the hockey game. Who are you looking
Going with
at?
Aaron Ekblad.
Yeah, he has a steady game.
Strong game. McDavid shut down. I think he took a knock on his ankle too, which looked extremely painful. But finishing the game, 20 minutes. He had the empty netter, but whatever. 4 shots from Aaron Ekblad, which is more than. I mean, when we're doing this,
It's almost
metric
as
with
many as
Oilers
the
forwards.
entire Oilers
yeah,
forward group.
3 hits. I mean, I just like his game. He's got a story himself too, right? Like he's been with this franchise for a long time and suffered through some stuff. So he's building a bit of a legacy here in this Cup final. So yeah, I'll go with Ekblad and doing what he did on the back end and albeit I mean everybody's hurt, but I think he was a bit of a warrior last night.
780-218-9999. If you're listening on TuneIn or on iHeart or at EdmontonSportsTalk.com, please tell your friends about Edmonton Sports Talk. They can just download the free app. Many people still like, hey, where's the Nielsen Show? I miss those guys. Well, tell your friends. Very easy. TuneIn, iHeart, EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Of course, you can watch on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube today, we're 22 likes away from smashing through 200 early here. I love it, right? Series isn't over yet. I know there's some Panthers trolls in the chat today who obviously are pretending that it is. They're the same as the Canucks fans who rolled in and it was 3-2 and basically were planning a parade at that point.
This is how it is this late in the tournament.
Yeah.
They're coming at you. They're coming at you hard here. Tommy Rubella, when somebody starts becoming glass half full guy in this series, be a daisy if you do, clip if you do.
I don't have a daisy if you do.
You can,
Yeah, daisy if you do.
Yeah.
38th star of the game. This is how I kind of want to give it to the entire forward group,
Sure.
with maybe the exception of McDavid. Like I love McDavid punching Kachuk in the face last
Well, he
night.
was flying too.
Yeah,
Like
I thought McDavid
he was up
going
for it,
last
yeah.
night. But there's a few things that we need to discuss here. Like the Oilers having a Evander Kane problem. We know Evander Kane's hurt. We know Evander Kane can't take practices.
He's
he
still
can't do
standing.
skates.
He didn't sit down all night.
Yeah,
he slept standing
like
up.
This guy is banged up right now. Okay, and I'm going to give Evander Kane all the credit in the world for trying to push through the hernia stuff that he's dealing with right now. And there's going to be some sort of off-season surgery. But he played 10 minutes last night, was -3.
Yeah, and this is one of the many things I hate about hockey. If you're not, I get it, you're tough.
Yeah.
All of these things are great. Oh, he can't sit down on the bench. Well, that's great. But you're not pissing us in here.
That's the thing.
And it's hurting now the team.
Yeah, and he's, look, if Evander Kane comes out of the lineup, there better not be anybody in Edmonton going, look at this guy. He can't even play in the playoffs. He can't push through.
No, that's
Bottom line
not it
is
either.
he's so banged up he can't contribute right now.
Right.
It's just that. And now he's hurting you. Now, this is the conversation I wanted to have. So you expect, I'm not expecting a lot from Evander Kane right now because he is so banged up. So the -3, I'm not going to hang that. I'm not going to hang him on. Bouchard last night. The one goal, he has the puck on his stick, puts it right on the stick of the goal scorer, and he shoots it through a screen into the net. Bad play. And then on the power play goal, Bouchard can't stop the guy along the boards. He lets him get right by him. They throw it across. It's tipping in front of the net. So Bouchard has been amazing in this series. He had to play 30 minutes last night, but I do think he was at least partially, if not directly, responsible for 2 goals against last night. So might look that way. But at the same time, well, he's also part of the offense that can't produce so far in this series. So
Yeah.
but I don't want to hang it on him because their forward group does nothing. 6 shots, and only from 3 players.
And that's if you're going down in this thing with a whimper from your offense. And I get Bouchard and mistakes happen, but mistakes will happen on both, right? But you gotta think that the offense at least will bail you out or kind of get you to even, give you a chance.
Bouchard's been great in the playoffs. I didn't like his night last night. A couple major issues that ended up in the back of their net. Simple as that. I do want to get to this one on Bouchard as well from Sergei Bobrovsky, who I know just trolling. I get it. I respect it. As long as you're here, give us a like. Not necessarily sure I want you to sub, but give us a like for the show today. That'd be great. Bouchard tapping on Aaron Ekblad was the definition of Oilers players collectively. What did you think of?
That was a heritage moment.
That
was one of those. Again, it's clipped, it's memed, it's everything else. But the helmet going down over the eyes too is kind of like I can't see, I can't breathe.
I mean, sometimes when you're teasing a spot like this, I guess it's okay to laugh. Maybe not. I don't know.
Sometimes it's all you can do.
It was kind of a funny image as you look back at Ekblad. But like Ekblad has been with the Panthers, first overall pick. Like he's been through a lot with the Panthers. That's a man who's just got Bouchard literally choked out to the point Bouchard is tapping on the ice in the National Hockey League. Finally, I think Hyman looked over at Ekblad and went like this. He was just like, and Ekblad was like, "Okay, here you go."
Well, the whites of his eyes are just.
I don't know if you watched the post-game show last night, because Tommy actually had some fire in his belly last night. It was great, and somebody was saying at one point that like Ekblad should be penalized or should be disciplined for trying to choke out Bouchard like that, and Tommy was doing like he had this little ooh like he was.
I know
the Tommy voice. But, I mean, Tommy did make a fair point. Bouchard should just start going like this and trying to punch him in the bloody head. Like, get pissed off.
No.
Don't get choked out and tap out. Like, use your hand, punch him in the face or something. I think grab him and flip him over your bloody body. Like,
what have we been talking about the refs? I think in that moment you go to sleep.
No,
you go limp. Am I wrong? He's choking him out.
Wrong.
He's choking him out. You go limp in his arms. We're talking suspension the other way here.
You got to suspend him.
Play the game. Play the game within the game here. They're not going to raise a banner for being honest. I'm tapping. I can't take anymore.
Oh my God.
Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Shh.
Now that would have been something. So instead of just going like this, he should have just dropped his head.
The Ekblad's got to hold him up. Whoa! Like he wouldn't have expected that either.
Cuthbert's like,
I killed him. Like
Ekblad has choked out Bouchard. That's got to be a suspension.
And they got to get him up and rub his sternum.
Right? If you choke out a player on the ice,
but that's what I'm saying.
That's a suspension.
Paint it in a bad way.
Play the game.
Play the game within the game. If you're not doing that, I got no sympathy for you. You know the rules. We've seen them. We know how it all is. We know it is because we don't know how it is. You think the refs are going to do one thing, they do the opposite. So play the game within the game. Stop going against it and getting mad when other teams do it successfully.
Yeah.
It's horseshit. Now I'm fine.
Oh, jeez.
Well,
2 earmuffs, kids. 6 o'clock hour. It's just the S word.
I can't understand the complaining about it and then sitting around, oh, tut, they should have done this. Yeah, this is Queensbury rules. No. It's dirty. It's the fine. Like, you got to muck it. You got to do things.
I like the idea of him just going limp.
And then Ekblad's going to pick, whoa, I didn't mean to. And then he's like, I didn't mean to.
Can you imagine the discussion we're having this morning on the show if we're like Jamie McLennan comes on and we go, yeah, there it is.
Now just go
That
down.
was the tap. He's like, hey, man.
Nobody knows.
Can you imagine if we're waiting for Jamie McLennan? Jamie, should Ekblad be suspended for putting Bouchard to sleep last night in a chokehold?
Putting him to sleep.
Come on.
Take me there.
That would have been absolutely amazing, man. That would have been something. All right, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999, or hit us up in the nasty chat as well. Steady Eddy of the evening. I honestly think there's only one place I can go here. He's the only guy who scored so far in the series for the Oilers. He's played 25 minutes last night.
They're arguably not here without him.
Well, of course they're not here without him, yeah. Matthias Ekholm will be your Steady Eddy of the evening here on your E.M Utility Locating morning after show. Has to be. I mean, Ekholm has to be the Steady Eddy of the evening. You know what? Now it's Ekholm's turn to choke somebody out. I guarantee if Matthias Ekholm put Sam Bennett in a chokehold, Sam Bennett would pass out.
Well, but now you can't
That's
do it back again because now they're looking for but But that's to the point. This is what you have to do. Go down the tunnel, whatever it takes. Come back the next shift.
That would have been something. My God. All right, Connor McDavid. Let's load up Connor McDavid's postgame here on the morning after show. Here's the captain of your Edmonton Oilers with his team facing a 2-0 deficit in the Stanley Cup Final. Let's hear what he had to say.
Obviously, they're playing the Stanley Cup Final. They're making it tough, for sure.
It's a deep hole. How do you dig out of it?
Well, you win a game. You win a game on whatever it is, whatever day that is.
What was it like to play with 11 forwards for so much of that?
I thought it was fine. I thought guys dug in. Yeah, they're a tough team. They make it tough. It's it was tough with 11. Yeah.
There wasn't a lot, obviously, on their net through 40 minutes there. It seemed like it was a pretty muddy track. What's the right way to fight through that and still generate?
Well, we got to be better. We can be better for sure. I thought they went up a level and we didn't match it today.
When you had that semi-breakaway with the chunk sort of stick all over you, what were you feeling at that point?
Well, I'm just playing hockey, trying to get to the net. Just what am I feeling?
No, is he?
Oh, what am I feeling physically?
Stopping you, or what's going on there?
No, it's I'm trying to protect the puck. He's trying to play the puck. Yeah.
Your power play right now has gone a little bit dry here, Colin. What's the common theme, do you think?
We got to work our way out of it. It always starts with work with our group. They're a unique penalty kill, just like they're a unique team. They're aggressive. We got to have guys ready for the puck. We got to have guys making good plays. You got to string good plays together, and we haven't been able to do that.
The late penalty was a part of the game, or was that a point of frustration?
Which one?
The one they took late.
I didn't think so. I thought it was part of the game. Yeah.
You guys have talked about your ability to get out with adversity from the start of the year, different playoff series. What do you think about the task at hand right now?
Yeah, it's exciting. It's exciting. It's another opportunity for our group to come together and dig our way out. It's supposed to be hard. It's supposed to be difficult. And I'm excited to see what our group's made of. I'm excited to see our group come together. I'm excited to see us fight through adversity, and looking forward to people doubting us again. We're good with the backs against the wall.
Seeing Darnell trying to gut it out, I know it was probably killing him not to be able to play. Does it help him having on the bench and knowing that he's trying to get out there and play?
Yeah, he's trying his best. I'm not. Yeah, he was trying. Great.
Bottom line, Connor, if you only score one goal in 2 games, you're probably
Not going to win very many games, no.
Connor, all eyes are always going to be on you guys, even the tip of the spear offensively. Where are you at with your game? What are you seeing from yourself? What are you going to be working on here?
What am I going to be working on?
There we go. That is Connor McDavid, captain of the Edmonton Oilers. Rick, what'd you think of what he had to say?
Looking forward to people doubting us again, right? And that's backs against what we said. Now, again, you can't run that back, eternally and hope for success every time. It's not a recipe for you don't always want to be backs against the wall. But, yeah, I mean, if any team or any group of individuals right now in the sporting landscape have been behind the 8 ball as much as this team has over the season, it's them. This is unfortunately the toughest part of it all against probably the toughest opposition. So, yeah, challenge ahead, but nothing that I would say if there's anybody to get over this challenge.
There's no team in the league this year that faced more adversity when the Oilers went through as Stanley Cup contenders and completely falling apart at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
I mean, and
even the playoff run wasn't as smooth as silk success.
down
It had its
against the Canucks,
adversities, yeah,
down
so-
against the Stars. They just haven't been in this situation yet. So let's see how they handle it, and let's see if Florida can contain them again. I mean, I would assume. Well, I'm not assuming. Rogers Place is going to be insane. It's going to be absolutely insane on Thursday night. And hopefully they can use and feed off that energy of the crowd to come out and pop a couple in the first period and then just go from there.
So I like starting on the road, too, in this series, specifically down there, to which, I mean, let's be honest, Sunrise and the fandom down there aren't exactly, I mean, you're watching last night, Panthers will clear the zone or whatever. You'd have Oilers fans here getting on their feet and standing and applauding and cheering something like that, and nobody cares down there. So that might be a bit of a shock in coming back here for the Panthers. But that game one, you thought the Oilers had their game, Panthers maybe didn't. Panthers come away with the win. Panthers got their game back last night, right, and got another win. So I don't know how do you kind of chart the pendulum swinging back and forth in terms of the Oilers kind of now having to figure things out, or do the Panthers even stay pat or try to do some more changes on the heels of 2 wins? Like maybe they keep coming at you ways with something else now too. I'm not sure how that you kind of go into a game 3 with a bit of a plan when you've already had your best game in game 1 lost, had a bit of a stinker in game 2 also lost. Just kind of don't know what the thought process there in coaching. And obviously the injuries are going to play a big part. I mean, Nurse, the hip thing, if he can't push, it's the same as Kane. Do you want it in? Most people don't like Nurse when he's 100%.
Yeah, it might be time to move from Kane.
But if Nurse isn't at 100, and I get the minutes and I get what he does, but
well, and then there's the Barkov injury.
Yes, yeah,
right. And Maurice was asked last night by a member of the Florida. Well, no, I guess it would have been Pierre LeBrun. I think he was asked about Barkov like 3 times. The third time, LeBrun was like, I think it was LeBrun. No, that was when he had the Oprah line. Anyway, bottom line is Paul Maurice last night said he wasn't holding Barkov back just to be safe. Like he couldn't go after taking the shot from Leon Draisaitl.
But head, you never know too. You do some checks today. I don't know.
Well, I mean, let's see where this goes today. We'll get into it with Jamie McLennan. We'll get into it with Joaquin Gage. You can text us anytime. Shaggy in St. Albert. You got a nasty chat there you want to get to?
Yeah, K-Man just says, have to score. Bob is getting way too much credit. Post's been unreal. And there were a couple of dings last night. I mean,
that's a few bars.
Well said.
I think Knobloch said it after the game. If they would have not hit the post 3 times on the power play, we'd be talking about how good their power play's been. So they're going to score. I mean, they score goals. That's what the Oilers do. They're going to score some goals here when they come
Time's
home.
ticking away, though. You kind of
Shaggy in St. Albert says, keep making excuses for the Oilers. Don't worry, Dusty. They'll be done on Thursday when they don't show up again. Game 1 was the turning point. Should have won game 1 with their effort, but the Panthers have taken over. That meme of Bouchard tapping out to the choke. Panthers choking out the Oilers' chances for a cup. So that comes from Shaggy and St. Albert,
or the Panthers
who's officially off the wagon.
Maybe the Panthers blow a 2-0 series lead and choke. They're because the Panther was doing the choking.
Well, wouldn't that be something?
So,
I mean,
you could flip this one as well.
We'll see where it goes. Look, if you're gonna just bail on the team when they're down 2-0, you just text in and let me know. They just text in and say, "I'm out. I'm bailing. I'm done."
Yeah, let's see ya.
Yeah, let's just then we can save
money
those.
where your mouth is.
Then we can save those.
Yeah,
I think that'd be because we saved all the ones from the Vancouver series and the Dallas series when they're down, and we're not making this up. After when they were down against the Canucks 2-1 and 3-2, we had the same text messages we're seeing today. When they were down against the Dallas Stars 2-1, we had the same text messages we're seeing today. They're down 2-0. It's different. But the series isn't over. If they come home and win 2 games at home, you're all going to be piling back on the wagon immediately. The series is not over. It's bleak, but it's not over yet. Win game 3. See where it goes. If they win game 3 in fine fashion, everybody's going to be in and going, well, they got all the momentum heading into game 4. Sure. They're going to win game 4. It's in a great spot. So they didn't play well in game 2. I thought they played really well in game 1. I was expecting a better effort in game 2, and it never came.
How about Dave the Welder? Oilers will win game 3. Mark my words. ... We're getting into that territory now.
That is a hell of a thing for you to say to me.
Mark my words. I like that one. Tony's in. Tony says too many passes on the PP. Tony! Tony's in. Tony! Too many passes on the PP. Please, no injured players playing. Nurse did this to us 2 years ago.
Yeah, if he can't move properly or push off or whatever the hell he was doing during the commercial breaks.
You're gonna be in.
Well, like what do you?
I mean, I don't know what you're gonna do in that situation.
Same as the Kane thing. Now you're kind of you're, and people think again when he's healthy, he's more of a hindrance. So
Johnny the accountant is in and says Bouchard can never be the D-man to play 30 minutes. He's not a defensive defenseman. I think he was mentally and physically tired and made mistakes, and that showed. Yeah. Look, they lost Darnell Nurse, who usually would munch close to 20 minutes. Last night he had 4. Ekholm had to play 25 minutes. Bouchard was at 30. Now, a bunch of that was on the power play. Those are different types of minutes.
But more called upon when he's out.
Those two guys played a ton. Those two guys played a ton last night. Pat in the county says 2 words. Series on.
That is a hell of a thing for you to say to me.
It's usually what they say when you drop the second on the road to start it, right?
Yeah.
That's
Tom Dixon's mustache with an interesting point. Guys, a positive after last night's game. No Nurse and no CC, and the team still lost. It's like every goal isn't their fault. Ooh.
That's
Tom Dixon's mustache.
Coming after that mitt. How about this? The Apprentice choking someone is attempted murder. I'm looking forward to Ekblad's trial. Thanks, The Apprentice.
Well, we did have somebody text in a little bit earlier saying that they think Ekblad should be supplementary discipline.
Is this like Slapshot? Are we going to have the cops in the building next time? And kind of like,
Shout out to the guy with no text handle who texted in and said, weekend at Bouchard's.
That was...
If he would have just passed out there, that would have been pretty funny, actually. Hampton Steve is in. Morning, boys. My 2006 PTSD is kicking in hard here. Lose game 1 when we should have won. Get dominated in game 2. Key injuries piling up. Let's just hope the patterns continue and the Oilers can rebound in game 3.
Yeah, well.
Once again, the Edmonton Oilers were down 2. Now, I know they didn't win in the Cup, so maybe it's a bad comparison. But in the 06 final, they were down 2-0. They were down 3-1, still forced to game 7.
With a worse roster.
Yeah.
I just let's I know the 06 lore and everything, but let's just remember this team and the weaponry it possesses. Albeit it has to hit. But again, they have the chances, they have the looks.
Got to get to this text. Final text of the 6 o'clock hour, and what a 6 o'clock hour it's been. Jamie McLennan on the way just after 7 o'clock. Weekly confessions. Chance to get in on the $100,000 hole-in-one as well. If you're over on YouTube today, let's hammer the thumbs up. What a resurgence in the 6 o'clock hour with the likes over 230, right at 230. Let's change 300 here, right around the corner. Let's go. Let's hammer it. I would be so impressed by the Nasties and anybody watching the show today if we smash through 600 the morning after a Game 2 loss. That'd be quite something. Hammer the thumbs up if you're watching on YouTube today. Sub to the channel. Final text at the 6 o'clock hour right here from Spike in Vancouver. His first text ever. No jumping off any wagons here, boys. Flying the wife and kids out from Vancouver to Edmonton Thursday to Sunday to watch games 3 and 4. Thank you, TD Bank, for the second mortgage. Go Oilers. How much? Spike,
Vancouver.
Spike, off the record, Spike. I'm just curious. How much is this going to cost you? Flights, tickets to both games for the wife and kids. Multiple kids. You're looking at least 4 tickets. I mean,
Daddy, I'm bored. Daddy, I'm bored.
It's not crazy to think this trip's costing you like $16,000, $17,000.
A couple
Give me the numbers on it, Spike. If you want to throw a few bucks our way, that's cool.
New jerseys from Pro-Am, that type of thing.
Of course, you got to go into Pro-Am, buy jerseys for the family. Wow. Good for you, Spike. Hopefully they can put together a couple of dubs for you. Plus, you'll get to see Our Lady Peace and Shania Twain. So that's cool.
What a left field announcement, eh?
Yeah.
Of all the acts.
Out of nowhere.
I mean, Wide Mouth Mason busy or what?
Yeah, couldn't you get 50 Cent? Just saying.
They need music, hey, to draw people to these things.
Can you believe it?
Huh.
What a joke league.
You should be all
You need to bring... Oh, yeah, good idea. I should do that. All right, Jamie McLennan on the other side. We've got lots to... Oh, there's the number from Spike. It's not as high as I was thinking. Well, that's still a nice commitment. That's a nice commitment to the Stanley Cup Final.
That's a rosy little figure there, yeah.
You love your family, Spike. That's a good dad right there. I appreciate that. All right, Jamie McLennan on the other way. We've got a sports update right now for Green Plan with Lieutenant Eric. And, of course, more of your text messages still to come. And a chance to get in the mix for the $100,000 hole-in-one with Golf Town. Don't go anywhere.
Oilers now trail the Stanley Cup Finals 2-0 following a 4-1 loss down in Florida. Matthias Ekholm scoring the Oilers' first goal of the Cup Finals, putting Edmonton in front midway through the first. Nico Mikkola tying things up for the Panthers. Evan Rodriguez would then score twice, with Aaron Ekblad finishing things off into an open net. Game 3 Thursday back in Edmonton. Last night on Edmonton Sports Talk, it was the Riverhawks shutting out the Falcons 5-0 from Remax Field. That opens a 3-game set. Hawks now sit second in the North Division with a record of 6-4. They're a game and a half back of the division lead. Game 2 tonight. First pitch 7:05. You can hear all the action. Al Coates has got you live here on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Blue Jays dropped the opener of a series in Milwaukee, 3-1 to the Brewers. Game 2 of 3 goes tonight. Yusei Kikuchi scheduled to start. First pitch 6:10. The Edmonton Elks look to rebound following Saturday's loss to the Riders as they get set to host the Alouettes on Friday. Tickets available now at GoElks.com or on Ticketmaster. Elks wide receiver Kurleigh Gittens Jr. will join the show later on this morning at around 7:45. Sports Update brought to you by Green Plan, providing you with award-winning environmental planning and consulting service. Whether it's municipal, industrial, or residential, plan it right with Green Plan. Visit green-plan.com or give them a call, 780-455-4292.
The Nielsen Show featuring Lieutenant Eric. Only on Edmonton Sports Talk.
.704 on the Nielsen Show. Dustin Nielson and Lieutenant Eric with us. I don't know where he is right now, but he will be right back. You can text us anytime in the Paris Jewelers inbox at 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. The inbox has been what I would describe as a spicy place to be so far on the show this morning. So keep those text messages rolling in and visit them at parisjewelers.com. We're coming at you from the Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen studio. I was joking yesterday on the oil stream that Furby from Popeyes is probably in the fetal position heading into game 2 yesterday. He's just such a passionate fan. He texted me yesterday. He goes, "It's not that bad, but I am pretty nervous. I am pretty nervous for the game last night." So
that was prior to the game.
That's prior to the game.
Ooh.
I got to check in with him today.
Yeah, you do.
It's one of those things where I got to go by his office.
Yeah, go by the house.
Just open up the door and be like, "Hey, Furbs, you good? Okay, all right. Let's move along." Coming up, we do have the chance to get in the mix for the $100,000 hole-in-one with our partners over at Golf Town. So make sure you stick around for that. Cool Bet Hotline of the Day, your weekly confessions for Spectrum Rental, and Kurleigh Gittens Jr. of the Edmonton Elks going to pop by here at some point today as well. But we've got lots to discuss with Jamie McLennan, who's coming out here for games 3 and 4. Noodles today, as he has been all season. Brought to you by Pro-Am Sports. Gear up for the Stanley Cup with official game and souvenir pucks and the cup patch that the Oilers are wearing on their jerseys. Visit them today in Edmonton on the corner of 128th Ave and St. Albert Trail or online at proamsports.ca. Noodles, it's going exactly like you'd expect it to be going today in Edmonton. How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, I'm checking in on you guys. I thought Lieutenant Eric wasn't going to show up today.
Just gone.
When I first joined, I'm like, he's missing. So I'm like, he's either drank a bottle of whiskey after the game last night or I don't know what happened. But listen, I feel like game 1 was a missed opportunity, right? Mm-hmm. You play very well. You could have, would have won that game. And you knew Florida was going to have a response. And I didn't like, and I thought McDavid handled it well after the game, said that we've got other levels that we didn't reach. And that's really the truth. And it's their top players. I mean, Draisaitl hasn't reached his best game. He admitted it last night. I think McDavid's been around it. He's looked good, but he hasn't been, super threatening getting into the middle of the ice because Florida's done a good job. I thought Evan Bouchard was forced to play too much last night, and he made a couple errors. You look at Ryan McLeod, soft plays again. I didn't love his game. I thought he was that Rodriguez goal, I know it's a turnover by Bouchard, but if you're going to block the shot or get the hell out of the way so the goaltender can make the save. To me, those are just critical, soft plays where, you're in the Stanley Cup Final. There's just no margin for error. And, Florida's a seasoned team. They make you make errors. I thought Florida was a lot better last night with their forecheck. They closed the neutral zone off so the Oilers couldn't get any speed going through. So the adjustments, everything was made by the Panthers. They deserved to win that game last night. They won the game. Yes, they've got a stranglehold on the series, but I thought game 2 was critical, and I thought Edmonton needed to have it. But that being said, you need a response. I mean, if you end up winning Thursday, you push it into Saturday and see what happens. But winning 4 of 5 against that team, it's a big hill to climb. There's no doubt about it. But like McDavid said after the game last night, he goes, everybody's doubted us. We've had our backs up against the wall. Let's see what our best is. So we still haven't seen the best of everybody on that roster, including the power play. Now that's 0 for 7?
0 for 7,
Gotta be a lot better. Yeah, so there's a lot to work with. But that being said, you're chasing the series, and Florida, they're going to smell blood, and they're going to continue to push.
Well, Noodles, and, again, we've been talking over the opening hour here about this team and the season it's been for them, and they've always backs against the wall, and every challenge they seem to have slayed, and they go on to the next one and the next one. I do feel, though, not only losing the game last night, but they're kind of losing this war of attrition that I find. I didn't think last night was a must-win. Technically, obviously not, but I didn't like the style in which it was lost. And we talk about injuries. We talk about, and you mentioned game 1 where you kind of feel like you've had them. They get away with one. Then they get the one last night as well. So coupled with all those things, Noodles, is it as simple as coming home and a little home cooking here? I mean, the fans will be nuts. Everything will be going on. You got a couple of days off, but I just feel with the Nurse injury, Kane can't really sit down, I guess, as we know right now. Like, do you kind of feel like this team has met all these tests throughout the season, dating back to the opening week? But I just feel like time really at this point isn't on their side when you have 6 shots from the forward group, 3 of them coming from a healthy McDavid, somewhat. I guess everybody's banged up, but he was flying around. You don't really see too many other people. When Kane can't sit down and your big money man on the blue line is can't skate because of his hip, I do feel like the sand through the hourglass is ticking away a little faster than it should be at this point. And I mean, I like them coming home. I like them starting on the road. I think you know what you work with. You're coming home. Obviously, it's a different scenario and vibe here. But your thoughts on this war of attrition? Because this team all year, we've been knocking on this wooden desk with the health and everything else. It all seemed to have cooked for them. And I just find last night, too, not just losing the game, but the way in which they lost really was a stinger.
It really was. And you make a great point. And, for people that bag on Darnell Nurse, I mean, listen, they need him. They need him. I don't know what the injury, it looked like a hip pointer or something on that side. So you wonder if the extra day of rest can get him going. But that wasn't, the loss of Darnell Nurse basically pressed everybody else. I thought Desharnais was solid. I thought Broberg looked solid. I thought, what you're going to wear down that top pairing. Ekholm I thought was fantastic and he can handle the minutes, but he's a big body, right? Yeah. He's a big body. So when you start to chip away at him every time he's turning and going back and absorbing contact. And Bouchard, we all know what Bouchard is. He's casual. He makes plays. He makes things look easy. But there was some mistakes there, too, based on the amount that he was playing. So you're right. Kane doesn't look right. We know it. You might be better off giving him a game off. I know it's, to me, a healthy Corey Perry as opposed to Evander Kane. Evander Kane is a tougher customer, all of that type of stuff, but he's been a non-factor. I think you might have to just take a step back. But that being said, I didn't like McLeod's game. That's a guy, you can't allow him to be comfortable for some reason. He just is very casual and plays a soft game. I didn't think that was a major on Foegele. I thought that was now listen, they reviewed it. There's different camera angles that make it look worse. When you try to avoid contact, a lot of times legs do get involved. It looked more like a Charlie horse for Lesterainen than a knee on knee. But when you make the decisions on, that quickly, the refs have to stick with it. I like that they call a major and then they review it. At least gives it another peek.
Yeah.
But again, this isn't a biased opinion. I just thought, to have a major, it better be a major, because I didn't like the knee on knee that, or the perceived knee on Bouchard. And
yeah, I thought they were very similar plays. I thought if one's a 2, the other's a 2. That's how I would have thought.
Again, they killed it off, so they ended up scoring in between that. So it's it's a moot point. But when you lose Foegele, what you're doing is now you've lost 2 players with Nurse and Foegele. You're asking guys to mix and match a little bit. The minutes get up. Overall, if you could sit back from an unbiased opinion, who had a good game last night for the Oilers?
Yeah, it's a good point. I thought McDavid was around it. Like he was their best. Yeah. He was their best player. But like when your forward group, he had 3 shots. Draisaitl had 2. Hyman had 1, and nobody else had a shot on goal last night up front. Like
that's really. That's what it is. We just talked about Evander Kane being threatening. I think Holloway, tries, but he wasn't around it. I just talked about McLeod. The fourth line's going to push, but they've been matched by Florida's fourth line. So you do need depth. You do need guys to contribute. And really, you're fighting for your collective lives. So, there should be no fear out there. You've got to go and play and drive the middle and get to the front of the net. And it has to be a shot mentality. Now, that being said, the power play, there's 3 posts there, or crossbars. That's a little bit of puck luck, but around it, if your power play's 0 for 7, it's in this series, you've got to find a way for it to be a difference maker. I've said all along, and I still believe this. I can make a case for the Oilers to win 3 games. 1 is Stuart Skinner steals one. The goalie's got to be the difference. Bobrovsky's stolen one.
He got game 1. Yep.
Skinner has to steal one. Secondly, the McDavid factor. McDavid just says, not on my watch. It's my game. And the third is going to be the power play, special teams. And when I look at it, they've come up short on all 3. So far in the first 2 games, that formula hasn't worked. Doesn't mean it can't. You're coming home for home cooking, but you need something to drop, whether it's puck luck, whether it's determination, whether it's the power play that's not going to be shut down, the goaltender that stands on his head, or McDavid and or Draisaitl just says it's not happening on our watch. So there is things you can draw off of, but that was a deflating loss. I'll go back to what you were saying, Lieutenant Eric, it's a deflating loss based on the way you lost last night. Florida was the better team and deserved that win.
Yep.
That's basically the bottom line. I thought Skinner was all right. I didn't love the first goal against. I know it was a rolling puck.
Talk to us about that, Noodles. Like when the puck is up on edge, because it did look like it knuckled a bit on him, but you like to see him stop that one, but I also felt, I was like, oh, geez. So what do you think?
It wasn't a bad goal against, but I used to work with a goaltender coach named Mitch Korn. And instead of digging into the analytics, he always is like, woulda, coulda, or shoulda. That's basically it. Shoulda had it as a bad goal. Coulda had it as if, hey, you're a little bit better positioning and react better. That's the middle. And woulda had it if all the stars aligned. That was a coulda, right in the middle to me, where if he's on his game because put it this way, Bobrovsky's been making those saves, and that's the difference is, and I'm not laying this on Stuart Skinner whatsoever, but when you're looking at stuff, you need saves at the right time. You're up 1-0. You're holding on for kind of a dear life, because I didn't like, the start of their second. They were back on their heels. They didn't get shots in their power play, and then you give up that 3-on-2 play. You just like to see a save there. Again, it's not his fault, but it's one where you're like, okay, if he. You'd love to see a big glove save there. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Noodles, we have to get into the Barkov injury, the Draisaitl hit. 2 minutes. I think they got the call right. I think that's probably all it should be. I know I'm looking in the chat right now, people saying he should be suspended for a game. Your thoughts on that play?
You know what? It's close. Like, I don't know suspension. Yeah, I mean, Sam Bennett didn't get a suspension for what he did to Marchand. And
Yeah.
that was more egregious. That was more
Yeah, like,
egregious.
I thought Draisaitl kept his arms in. I mean, the elbow he obviously elbowed him in the jaw, but it wasn't like he went like this. He kind of just came through like this. So I think that's the difference.
Well, I always tell people this, okay? Again, try and remove emotion, and we can't. Obviously, the show that we're on, who we talk about, all of that type of stuff. But if that was Sam Bennett, or if that was even, let's just say that was Barkov on Draisaitl, what would we be saying today? Is it a suspension? Is that a penalty? That's the only thing. I would argue that Maurice's attitude afterwards, like, that might have broke his jaw. Like, there might be some, because he didn't come back. Now, I don't know if that's a concussion or where he hit him on the side of the face. That's an uncomfortable situation. So they needed him. And even Paul Maurice said, like, we didn't keep him out for precaution. Like, if he's not available for Thursday's game because of a broken jaw, or he's got to wear a full bubble cage, that might change his game a little bit. So I was fine with the call on the ice, but you can make a case based on the player involved. Barkov probably is your Conn Smythe winner right now. I mean, it's a tough shot. And again, I go back to, if somebody does that on Draisaitl or McDavid, where is our narrative today? So it's close. I see the arguments, but it's Stanley Cup Final hockey, and that's why I come back to, I didn't think Foegele, that was a 5-minute major. I think and this is maybe old school in me, and I apologize for it, but I think it's got to be bloody murder for penalties like that. And I know that sounds barbaric and awful, but I don't think it was intentional where here I'm going to elbow him to the face, but you look at the cold facts, there was a forearm shiver to the jaw of Barkov, and he might be questionable. So, take it for what it's worth.
You're coming out here for games 3 and 4. I mean, just quickly looking ahead in this series, with the lack of offensive production, I don't want to say, like, they just didn't bury in game 1. They had a 18 grade A scoring chances in game 1. Like, do you completely overhaul this forward group, or you just sort of leave things health-wise the way they are?
I don't think you overhaul anything.
No.
I think what you do is you find a spot maybe for Perry. You can control him on last change, all of that type of stuff. Again, Foegele will play. I don't know if you give Ryan McLeod an opportunity to watch one game and get him pissed off again. I don't know if they've got the players to do that. Derek Ryan maybe comes in and gives you a little bit more speed and tenacity. I'd just like to say, everybody on that roster needs to play better to a man. So I don't know if it's much tweaking and you're overthinking it, or just saying, guys, it wasn't our night. We didn't play well. We've got home ice. We're going to get the crowd behind us, and we need everybody to play their best, or else you're 3 Cobb and you're done. So, I mean, if it's not been stated 100 times, it will be stated 100 times. Thursday's a must win. It's a must win.
You got to have that one, yeah.
Yeah. I will be in the building, so we'll see how it goes.
We were joking this morning, just quickly before we let you go. We were joking this morning when Ekblad was choking out Bouchard and he tapped.
Well, at least he tapped.
Yeah, he tapped. But Eric had a great play.
Well, Noodles, okay, stay with me here.
Got to play the officials.
And again, it's an Oilers, so everybody is complaining this morning that, the embellishment, the Maurice has players walking down the tunnel at ease and whatever. So I said, you're in a headlock, go to sleep.
Just should have passed out.
You go limp, you do dead weight. Ekblad's then going to hold you up. What I do?
Then we're talking Ekblad suspension for choking out Bouchard.
Rubbing up the sternum, yeah.
It's true. But I think if you look at the look on his face, he's scared because he can't breathe.
He wants, for that moment there, his breath was cut off for sure.
Well, when you get that chokehold, it's right on your Adam's apple, and you're done. That happened to me at Squires one night. A bouncer grabbed me from behind, and I was like, oh, I'm done. I did go limp. I went limp because what else are you going to do, right? You remember Squires? Is that bar still there?
Squires is not around anymore. No.
That was the downstairs, right, at the billiard club.
The pool, yeah.
White Avenue.
My God.
There was a fight that broke out. I was standing there, and I think the bouncer thought I was involved in it. He got me a chokehold. I just went limp. I'm like, I don't know what to do.
Oh, good stuff, buddy. All right, well, safe travels out here, man, and we'll chat with you soon.
Sounds good, guys. We'll chat
All right,
soon.
there you go, Jamie McLennan. I didn't think he'd have a story for that, but sure enough, he had a story for that.
Man,
so that was
he ain't
good.
lying though.
Yeah.
My aunt hugged me over the weekend. I was at like a gathering. She comes up behind, just casual.
Yeah.
But the way her forearm caught me, and I was just
That's
like,
it.
and then I couldn't talk for like 10 seconds. I had to like kind of massage my.
Really?
But yeah, I mean you get it in there, and you're like, I can't talk, can't breathe. And
I've never been choked right out to the point where I was like,
have you never passed? Like,
no, I got knocked out once.
I told you that we just got house parties, and Corey Brown would choke us all out. On the lawn.
Yeah. Your buddy would
It's
just
kinda
choke
weird.
you all out
Yeah,
for fun.
yeah.
Yeah, we never did that.
Really weird stuff. But,
I don't know if that's not a BC thing.
You shouldn't be doing
or
that.
what.
You shouldn't be doing that.
No, the one time I got full blown knocked out. It was in Lethbridge. We were partying with the boys, and kind of got into a wrestling match with one of my buddies. And I think I was on top of him on the couch, and then I kind of got back off, and he turned and didn't mean to,
Caught you.
but like caught me. And I don't know if there was video of it or the boys just describing it vividly, but I was in like the living room, and he caught me, and I just went right back into the laundry room, just boom, out. That's the only time that I've ever been fully knocked out.
That dead weight fall when you have there's nothing bracing
just
you,
like-
just bam.
Yeah. That was fun. That was a good night. That was a good time.
Tommy the
That was
Wrench.
a great party house.
Tommy the Wrench.
Oh, there's Tommy. He's doing his voice.
Spicy
He's doing his
Tommy. Is he
voice
doing
right
it?
now.
Is he the bit?
Tommy's at his house right now. Tommy the Wrench is at his house right now going, he should be punished for choking him, or whatever the voices he was doing last night.
I know this Scazola here. I know this Tommy, yeah.
That was real good. All right, let's do our Golf Town $100,000 hole-in-one. Then we'll get your Cool Bet hotline of the day as well. Zach, do you want to try to call our winner tonight? Let's try to call our winner.
Yeah, I'll give them a shot.
Yeah, throw it up. We'll get to our keyword in a second here as well. I think that's over here. All right, what do we got for a keyword today? We're going to try to get to our winner from yesterday. And, this would be bad for the hole-in-one contest. We'll get to that as we work our way through the show this morning. My dad just texted me from my mom's phone and says, "Hey, this is Dad. Get your car inspected. It runs out on Saturday."
Oh yeah, we're
guess
we're
what?
on it. We're
Calm
on
down. It's Tuesday. It's Tuesday. I'm a grown man.
Yeah.
It's Tuesday.
Haven't hit midweek yet.
Yeah. Tammy's taking care of it today. Right? I get to see if it's Thursday. But it's Tuesday. The deadline's Saturday. It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. All right, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. It is the $100,000 hole-in-one. We're doing this out at the ranch on July 3rd, and we're not doing it on the driving range like back in the day at the old place. We are doing this right on the 17th hole. You know what we're talking about, 17th hole. Everybody understands it at the ranch. It's going to be about $180. A little bit of water, front and left, trees at the back that hopefully you don't have to worry about. But we'll see. The $100,000 hole-in-one is presented by Golf Town. Swing big this Father's Day, and find Dad or yourself the perfect gift at Golf Town. Whether Dad's a seasoned pro or just starting out, Golf Town has everything he needs to hit the greens in style. From clubs and apparel to accessories, tech, and more, they've got it all covered. They really do. I mean, there's nothing that you need or require for golf that you can't find at Golf Town.
It's a town.
If there was,
it's a golfing town.
If there was, they wouldn't be Golf Town.
Yeah.
It'd be like Golf Hamlet, and you can only go in and only get irons and one type of ball.
They have the sign at the front, and it only says, 6 irons. You know the signs you go into a town, gas, food, or whatever. There's just a few of them. This has all of them.
This has the whole thing.
Hotel, the whole bit.
It's 3 rows.
Bigger than Beaumont.
Well, obviously bigger than Beaumont. This Father's Day, give the gift of golf. Visit them in store or at golftown.com for more details. Do we have yesterday's winner on the line?
Yes, we do.
Who is it?
Corey B.
Corey B. Oh, my
Corey
goodness.
B.
Corey B., the tattoo boy. Corey B., congratulations, buddy. You're going to have a swing at $100,000.
Great on, man. Thanks a lot.
Do you golf, Corey?
No, not at all. So it should be pretty exciting.
Well, you know what, though? Then maybe it's just going to be meant to be.
Yeah,
I always look back. And remember Alexander Ovechkin? Never golfed, got a hole-in-one, and then was like, swear to God, swear to God. Like,
Corey B will be saying, Tiger, where are you by the end of the event?
That could be you, Corey B.
It's on my birthday, so maybe it was meant to
Oh
be.
my goodness, it's on your birthday. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Can you imagine winning $100,000 when you don't really golf, but you get a hole-in-one on your birthday? That'd be amazing.
It would be amazing.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, we will see you on July 3rd out at the ranch.
Yes, sir. Thanks a lot.
All right, there you go. $100,000 hole-in-one presented by Golf Town. Congratulations to Corey. He's going to have a swing at it unless somebody who swings before him gets the $100,000. Then the rest of the contest is over. It ends if somebody gets $100,000. Let's give you the keyword for today. For the $100,000 hole-in-one, all you have to do is text this in to the Paris Jewelers inbox at 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. One of you will be chosen by Zacticum, and you will go into a draw with 3 other people who qualify later on today to be our winner of a spot tomorrow. Today's keyword is hazard, as in the big body of water on the left in front of the green, plus a bunker in front of the green will both be hazards for the $100,000 hole-in-one. All right? Hazard. Text the word hazard right now to 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999, and one of you will end up possibly getting a shot at $100,000. Changing 300. Changing 300. Let's go. Let's farm some more likes here. We just gave somebody a chance to swing at $100,000. If you can't hammer the thumbs up for that, what are we even doing here? Hammer the thumbs up if you're watching over on YouTube today, and subscribe. The subscriber level has bumped even this morning, so let's keep putting. I'd love to hit 9,000 by the end of the playoffs. You know, let's just keep hammering that.
Be part of this thing.
Hammer that sub. Yeah, be a part of.
Be a part of that drive for
eh?
like I was one. Yeah. I'm one of those subs.
Like you kissed
tongue in cheek.
Kissed your sister.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Weekly confessions on the way for Spectrum Rental. One more time, keyword is hazard. Hazard. Is that how that soccer player spells his last name?
I was gonna wait for this.
Can I guess his first name? Can I guess his first name?
Sure, yes, absolutely.
I remember this from FIFA.
Know.
Eden?
Yeah, Eden.
Eden Hazard.
Eden
Yeah.
Hazard.
Yeah.
Belgian footballer.
Nice.
We'll have a full Euros breakdown tomorrow in the Hangout. Myself, Iwanek, and old Redbeard, Scott Laurie.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. Are you going to talk Oilers, though?
Iwanek invited me. I said, "Are you serious?"
You got to
so
talk some Oilers, too, though.
I'm going to be talking Oilers. They're going to try to talk to
Thank
soccer.
you, Eric.
I'll continue to interject and say,
Yes.
but the Oilers.
Well, what about the no suspension for Draisaitl?
Everything brought up, I'll tie it back in.
Good
somehow,
idea.
somewhere.
I like that. That's good. All right, next chance to qualify for the $100,000 hole-in-one coming up on the Hangout today from 9 to 11 here on EST. I like seeing Tommy the Wrench in the chat early today. We'll see how he factors in later on today. He was so fired up last night.
Tommy,
it was good.
and especially with that
Spicy
tone.
Tommy's the best Tommy. I want Spicy Tommy to come out more often. I think Tommy does his finest work when he's like losing it. It's excellent stuff.
Should have a shot of cayenne pepper before every.
Wouldn't that be something?
Get spiced.
All right, more of your text messages coming up here. The Edmonton Oilers trail the Florida Panthers 2-0, but it's a best of 7, not a best of 3. The series is not over yet. It will transition to Edmonton, where this place will be absolutely insane on Thursday. Should be a lot of fun. If you have any confessions, you're going to text those over to us right now. 780-218-9999. We'll get to those confessions coming up. We're going to give you a chance to win some tickets to the Kids for Bids live streaming event that we're going to be doing next Wednesday night for a great cause. We'll get into that. And Kurleigh Gittens Jr. of your Edmonton Elks Friday night at home against the defending Grey Cup champions. Oh, baby, that's gonna be a good one. Kurleigh Gittens is going to pop by here in about 15, 20 minutes as well. We'll find out where the team is at, where the offense is at after dropping the home opener on Saturday at the hands of the Riders. Right now, let's get to a sports update for Park Mazda with Lieutenant Eric.
Edmonton Oilers now 2-0 down in the Stanley Cup Finals following last night's 4-1 loss. Matthias Ekholm scoring the Oilers' first goal in the finals, putting Edmonton in front. Nico Mikkola tied things up for the Panthers, while Evan Rodriguez scored twice and Aaron Ekblad finishing things off into the empty net. Game 3 Thursday night here in Edmonton. Last night on Edmonton Sports Talk, it was the Riverhawks shutting out the Kelowna Falcons 5-0 from Remax Field. That opens a 3-game series. Hawks now second in the North Division with a record of 6-4. They were a game and a half back of the Wenatchee Apple Sox. Game 2 goes tonight. First pitch 7:05. Al Coates has the call live here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Blue Jays dropped the opener of a series in Milwaukee 3-1 to the Brewers. Game 2 of that 3-game set tonight. Yusei Kikuchi scheduled to start, first pitch 6:10. Elks look to rebound following Saturday's loss to the Riders. They'll get set to host the Alouettes Friday. Tickets available at goelks.com or on Ticketmaster. Elks wide receiver Kurleigh Gittens Jr. will join the program a little later on in hour number 2. Sports Update brought to you by the great staff at Park Mazda and dealer principal Mitch Lewicki, where he puts himself in sleeper holds just for fun.
Hi there. If you're like me, you like to picture yourself in luxury, even though there's absolutely no way you can afford it. And if you can, well, even better. Thankfully, I picture myself in something that is luxury, but still absolutely affordable, like the all-new Mazda CX-90 from Park Mazda. With the new luxury features like facial recognition settings and quilted detail Napa leather seating, I can pretend to be comfortable with all of my proper settings activated without even touching a button, thanks to Mitch Lewicki and the great staff at Park Mazda. I like to picture Mitch Lewicki in a tuxedo t-shirt because it says, like, he wants to be formal, but he's also here to party too.
Park Mazda, your dealer for life in Sherwood Park off Y Road, parkmazda.ca.
I've got something under my skin, and the itch won't go away. It's my original sin, the poison that I crave. Come along for the ride, I'd make you feel better. Cut the rope that I tied, but then I broke my skin again. You got me fiending for that first high, but the feeling's not the same. You got me stealing, killing, I die, just to feel you in my veins.
Go back in the closet, boys. Whale and the Wolf. Veins. If you haven't checked out Whale and the Wolf yet, find them on Spotify and stream their music. EST House Band. And good guys overall. All right, so let's keep moving along. 780-218-9999. Kurleigh Gittens Jr. will join us in about 10, 15 minutes. Got a chance to get you some tickets for an excellent event that EST will be a big part of next Wednesday evening. So we'll get into that. But let's get into your weekly confession, shall we? What do you need to confess? 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. Weekly confessions brought to you by Spectrum Rental, where they confess to preferring their penalties called the old-fashioned way, where the refs see it and put their hand in the air as opposed to waiting 5 minutes after the dive. Rent a mini truck loader with an auger and get your landscaping finished with one machine.
I like they throw in the rest. Rent a mini.
Spectrum Rental is amazing. Like, if you have a project that you need to get done, go see the team at Spectrum Rental because they rent it all. That's a great liner, though. And that's from them. They always text it in every morning. It's
their way of communicating their frustrations.
Brought to you by Spectrum Rental, where they confess to preferring their penalties called the old-fashioned way, where the refs see it and put their hand in the air as opposed to waiting 5 minutes after the dive. Rent a mini track loader with an auger and get your landscaping finished with one machine.
Right into the cell pit.
With that being said, how amazing is this mini track loader with an auger? Like, I was already like, what's an auger? That's amazing. But now it's attached to a mini track loader? What is this?
It was the mini that got you.
I need to do some landscaping because we have 4 bushes along the side of the driveway that have died.
Here we go.
Like, they're dead. They've been dead for 2-3 years. And I've been like, don't worry. We'll get them landscaped. We'll take them out.
After the vehicle inspection.
Yeah, exactly. Got lots to do.
There's priorities here.
Got lots to do. But so with Tam and I have been having this like tombstone style old fashioned duel where she's like, I'm gonna book the landscaping. I'm like, that's fine. But if you book the landscaping, we're putting a basketball hoop right in that spot.
Oh,
right. I want in the ground basketball hoop, old school style. I don't want this rolled away garbage. I want a basketball pole into the ground.
You need a mediator. Like, I don't know how you meet in the middle with this one. She wants that. Dad, you say basketball then or nothing.
You can landscape along the side here. I'll go get the mini track loader and an auger from Spectrum Rental. I'll do it all in one machine. But in the middle of that machine, I'm going to take the auger. I'm going to dig a bloody hole. I'm going to put a basketball pole in it, and then we're going to fill it with concrete. That's going to be part of the landscape. Real nice, though. I'll make it look nice. Not like the one that I had growing up, where like it was half-assed done. Sorry, Dad, but it was.
Yeah, I could see you actually. Why would you just stop at net? I could see you erecting that net and then going like full kind of hybrid court on your driveway.
Well, no, if
you
actually,
do the rink.
Great idea.
Oh no, I'm saying the paint
Great
and
idea.
everything.
Well, I'm not talking paint, but you can get that rubber court.
Sure.
And put that
Yeah,
down.
what's stopping you now?
I think Damon Bunting has that at his house. He's got like a full size.
You want Marshall to be,
Yeah.
doing and one tapes. I mean, it starts now, right?
Look,
like this is.
do we want Marshall to play in the association or not? It all starts at Spectrum Rental with a mini track loader and an auger.
There you go.
All right, let's get to your confession. Well, Rick, what's your confession today?
Yeah, well, it starts now. Fantasy football is back.
Oh no.
Hi, I'm Lieutenant Eric, and I must confess that my Memphis Mad Dogs team, the bench, outscoring the starting lineup 63.76 to 59.6. What an idiot!
What a loser. Shame.
But I'm not, because I went with the consensus. I mean, are you starting Collaros or Fajardo last week?
I would have started Zach Collaros. Yeah.
Right. What's the other one here? What's the other?
I didn't like your Dylan Mitchell play.
Sean Bain Jr. Yeah, but Mitchell.
I would have started Bain ahead of Mitchell.
Mitchell was my leading receiver at 9.3. I had Kurleigh Gittens Jr. at 6.2 and Emulus at 2.7. So if I had Bain in there, I would have.
I think you have to start Bain over Mitchell no matter what moving forward.
Bain over Mitchell.
Yeah.
Jareth Stearns also on the bench at an 8.1. He would have been my second leading receiver.
Stearns is good too.
To Dylan Mitchell.
I like your receiver, like you said. Like you said this morning. The talent's there.
The talent's there. It's just the coaching has to figure this out.
The talent's there.
High on the Canadians, Sean White with a cozy 10 as well. We welcome him back to the Mad Dogs fold. So, yeah, it's there. You can see it. But, I mean, look, for all the saber rattling and big barrel chests that Iwanek was proclaiming after the draft and how he's going to go undefeated and yada, 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 yada. I mean, yes, he did pick up a week 1 win, but let's just pump the brakes here a bit. Kenny Lawler injured, all these things.
Send your confessions to 780-218-9999. Also, if you're watching on YouTube today, let's hammer that thumbs up. Let's make that pre-8 o'clock 400 push. You're there. You're watching. Maybe you've subbed. Maybe you haven't. But if you're here for it today, hammer the thumbs up for us over on YouTube. That would be great. Here's my confession. And I've briefly mentioned this in the past. But I'm going to make the official claim right now as my confession, which I never thought I would say. I like coaching baseball more than I like coaching hockey. It's just done. It's a thing. I never thought I would say that. I didn't grow up playing baseball. Played some slow pitch in my 20s like everybody else. But I thoroughly enjoy coaching baseball more than I do coaching hockey. And I don't know if it's because everybody's more relaxed during baseball. And it's like, oh, you're Canadian. It's baseball. Who cares? Maybe that's what it is. But it's just such a relaxed, fun time coaching baseball. I love coaching baseball. I like coaching hockey. Don't get me wrong. I like coaching hockey. But I love coaching baseball. It's really weird.
I think there's a bit of the American-Canadian thing, too, because hockey is a straight-faced, serious business up here.
Yeah.
You mention hockey, and it's like, my boy or gal, we're putting them in, we give them money, get them in tears and all that. But it's a night out. You go out and have fun. And that's kind of how hockey down there is viewed, too. I mean, it's just you go have a little bit of fun. Baseball, though, that's
baseball down there would be completely different.
Did you fall in love in Lethbridge, or what was or is it just being a dad and
just being a dad and coaching? Yeah,
you wouldn't coach if you didn't have a son. You would just volunteer.
No, I mean maybe now that I know I
love
it
of the
so
game
much,
for the love of the game.
If I wasn't
maybe,
so busy, maybe I would.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I love coaching ball.
It's wearing the full uniform,
fun.
right? That's what it is.
No,
you
I
love
don't know.
getting dressed up in the full.
I can't put a finger on it. I can't put a finger on what it is, but I love coaching baseball. Gus is in and says, good on you, Dusty. Coaching baseball for U9s can be like herding cattle, not fun. Well, first of all, I grew up herding cattle. So maybe that's why. Maybe that's what it is. But, look, I'll be honest. I was frustrated by the team last night. So many plays that should have been outs that we just completely botched. A couple of times, one of the balls got hit past one of our guys, and I just straight up said, I'm standing in the field helping kids. I was just like, come on, you guys. Because I was just like, it's right there. I could have made the play.
Sure.
Now, am I a 43-year-old man? Yes, I am. But I didn't play as much ball as these kids have played. Frustrating me. But I do love coaching it. It's a lot of fun. All right, let's get to some of your confessions here. Downtown Phil. Downtown Phil texts in and says, guys, I did a hero dose of mushrooms on Friday, and now I'm afraid I might be addicted because they're just too fun. What's a hero dose of mushrooms? Is that a typo, do you think?
Probably say about 4 or 5 grams.
Maybe he meant a microdose.
Oh, microdose.
I bet you he meant a microdose.
Yeah. You don't want to do those hero.
Microdose of Mushrooms, I guess. Andrea from Calgary texts in and says, I must confess, I didn't know that there was an Italian center shop in Calgary until a friend was trying to remember the name of the Italian market he and his wife go to and said, it's that one that's in Edmonton. I immediately knew that he was talking about it because of EST and proceeded to ask if they like the sandwiches. And they do. I will now be going there to try all the things. That comes from Andrea in Calgary. Advertising works.
Fairmont Place Shopping Center if you are down there and want to get your hands on one of those sandwiches or many there. We got some pies. Hey, pies on the way this week.
We got the pizza pies, take and bakes. They're ready, locked and loaded for tomorrow morning's show. That should be a lot of fun. T-Mac, the rugby guy, in and says, guys, I confess, like Bouchard, I don't know Ekblad's safe word. Would it not be the other way around? Like, should he not know Bouchard's safe word when it's time to tap out?
Bouchard,
Is that how, I've never
Bouchard
dabbled in the
says
safe
word,
word
like,
game. So.
Gatorade, and he's like, I released the hold. Yeah.
Oh, how about this? This comes in from Guy Flaming.
Oh, nice.
Wait a second. Never mind. I'll talk to you about it later. Anyway. Guy says, I have a confession to make. I have a show that runs on Edmonton Sports Talk, but until this morning, I wasn't a subscriber to the YouTube channel. I thought I was. I wasn't, but I am now. Welcome aboard, Guy.
Love it.
And while you're there, hammer the thumbs up. All right, that's what we like to do here. 780-218-9999. RCN, I guess this is a confession. I never played slow pitch in my 20s, 30s, or 40s. I played baseball as a kid. Zero interest in coaching it. Won't ever watch Major League Baseball.
I also have never been at the plate for a slow pitch.
Really?
Nor have I pitched or competed. I watched my wife.
And you never played baseball growing up?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you
played
did?
baseball growing up.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Red Sox, baby. And actually, I loved softball, too. Pitched windmill pitch.
Yeah?
I love pitch and windmill.
Oh,
that was fun.
can you pitch windmill?
I used to be able to.
I feel like I would tear an ACL.
I could put some good English on those. Like I could put a good spinning curve. Oh, I'd get guys whiffing all over the place.
And you bring it right in your hip.
Yeah. Like executing a good windmill pitch. There's something to that. I really like that. Power off the mound and everything.
The doc says downtown Phil definitely meant a hero dose. I mean, I'm going to have to Urban Dictionary that.
4 or 5 grams, I would say. I don't know if it's changed since the days I was banging. Yeah. It's all fine now, right? Like we're all.
Well, nowadays,
2024, right?
We can do mushrooms on the show,
exactly.
And people would be like, "These guys are hilarious." Come on. All right, hammer the thumbs up if you're watching on YouTube today. Blaine from Scottsdale says, standing outside in the sun, fresh air, relaxing versus being inside a stinky, cold arena with parents screaming their faces off. I just can't put my finger on why you like coaching baseball more, Dusty.
Yeah, the parents thing seems to be a common denominator in most of these, You know
what? Now, I've only coached ball for 3 years now, but I've never had like crazy baseball parent be like, it's just a different vibe with the parents. Like, why would a parent be pissed at baseball? You're sitting there in a lawn chair in the sunshine, and your kid very rarely ever has to make a play because most of the time they're just standing around.
I did see when I was playing, though, there was an ump that had to kick out a few parents.
Really?
Oh, yeah. And that was when the ump goes over to the parents. And I mean, it was a small little ump with like a very high-pitched voice, which was kind of funny.
Yeah.
You're out of here. Pointing at like big bearded men.
Tyson in the Nasty Chat says Dusty on mushrooms would be a sideshow.
Yeah. I mean, ultimate sports trip, whatever you want to call it. There's got to be some sort of thing there where you
I'll just
step right up, you know.
I'll say this: 2,000 likes. 2,000 likes on a show, and I will. What's the one that Awanic does?
Hey, it's on me.
Well, thanks, man. That's great.
2,000 likes, Golden Teachers, Dustin Nielson. Let's go.
Hammer the thumbs up. Not likely going to happen.
Great place down the River Valley. We can
not likely going to happen. All right, let's call Kurleigh Gittens Jr. We'll get this show back on track.
Yeah,
Matt, so you got him in fantasy, eh?
Yeah, I like it. I again, we talk about the relationship, the prior one he had with MBT. Now, does that translate? Who knows? Coming off a rough year. I did have him 2 years back. Picked him up as a mid-season thing. Great pickup.
Yeah.
Kind of carried me through the latter half of the season. So the passport doesn't hurt. New surroundings here. Obviously with the guy that was chucking him the ball a few years ago. So We'll see. Again, the Canadian is good, and I think the Elks too have done a good job of establishing a good. I mean, Hergy Maile, for crying out loud, 2 touchdowns as well.
I mean, that could be a waiver
Quietly.
claim. That could be a waiver
Yeah.
claim for somebody.
So I like the stable the Elks are building here with their Canadian content, and Gittens Jr. obviously a big part of that moving forward.
Well, from a CFL fantasy perspective, and there aren't a lot of shows in this country that will be talking CFL fantasy, let alone have 2 hosts who are in different CFL fantasy leagues.
Two different homemade leagues.
But here we are. Gittens had 9 catches. PPR monster. 9 catches.
12 targets.
62 yards.
12
targets. As I was calling, you know what? This is how sad it is. As I'm calling the game for TSN, I'm seeing him catch all these. I'm like, damn it. I should have drafted him. Because I went with Dembski. And I'm looking at yours. You've got Kurleigh and you've got Emilus.
Yes.
You're in a very nice spot from Canadian content perspective.
Yes.
Well done, sir.
Thank you. It's and Dembski. You can.
I mean, I'm okay with Dembski. I'm going to be fine with Dembski.
But I can start them.
I got Jalen Philpott in a Canadian spot I can use
but
as
you
well.
observe the ratio as well, right? So that's importantly huge.
Yeah, we also have the ratio. We have a Canadian spot on the roster.
Makes
so,
it all.
Yeah. All right. The Elks continue their season at home again on Friday night. Hop online, goelks.com right now to get your tickets, or you can find tickets at Ticketmaster. They are 0-1. I thought some good signs. I thought they looked better than last year's team in that first game. But, I mean, to the team, probably doesn't matter because they didn't win the game. But let's bring in Kurleigh Gittens Jr. at a nice debut with Edmonton on Saturday against the Riders. Kurleigh, good morning. How you doing, man?
Good morning. How's it going?
It's going fine. I got to ask you, what are your thoughts as you were listening to us there talk about CFL fantasy and having a Canadian spot and everything? We're not messing around. Like, we love CFL fantasy football. We want the league to push it more. But what's it like for you listening to be like, hey, 9 catches, good in the PPR league? You know, it's got to be kind of fun.
Nah, honestly, it sounds kind of cool, to be honest with you. I don't know much about CFL fantasy. But, you know, I'm thinking if it's like the NFL fantasy, then, you know, something cool.
Well, yeah, you know what? You just keep drawing 12 targets a game, and Lieutenant Eric will start you every single week.
I'm fine with that.
Every single week. Let's dive into it. You know, obviously, first full regular season game with the new offense and McLeod Bethel Thompson. How did you guys? I know you didn't get the win, but how did you feel as an offense coming out of that game against the Riders?
It was definitely an up and down game for us as an offense. We did some good things, you know. We didn't do some good things, you know what I mean. But the good things you can take away from it is that you know, we're moving forward and we have confidence in each other that we're going to only get better as the season goes along. So we're really just excited to play the next game, to be honest with you, and just to get things rolling again.
Kurleigh, what does a guy like MBT bring to the huddle? Of course, we here in Edmonton knew to him being signed during the offseason here and brought in. But you've had some time with him, obviously, in Toronto. Tell the fans here a little bit about what he brings, his both on and off the field in terms of leadership and talent, of course.
To me, he brings everything you need in a quarterback: the leadership, you know, just the IQ, just playing the position, and just being the quarterback that you can, you know, come talk to, and what you see out there on the field, and just being the person off the field where, you know, if you just need somebody to talk to, he can. But if you want to just watch extra film, he's there as well too. You know, he's, in my eyes, he's a complete person because you know, he's been through so many things in his life, and he uses it as things. As ways to get better as a person and as a football player. And to me right now, what we're seeing right now is the complete quarterback that he is and the person that he is.
The last time you were with him, you had a 1,000-yard season. It was an absolutely outstanding year for you. What's that chemistry like between a receiver and a quarterback? Can it be significantly different with one guy to another?
Honestly, obviously we haven't played the whole year together in 2023, but you know, this year it feels like we haven't missed a beat. You know, we haven't missed a year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know, having that one guy that you can just, that he trusts you and you trust him, and he knows where you're going to be, and you know, and just being able just to, I don't even know how to explain it to you guys.
It's just natural, right? Does it just come natural? Is that it?
It's natural because he knows I'm doing what I need to do in order to be the best football player I can be on game days, and I know the same thing. that he's doing what he needs to do in order to be the best football player he needs to be. When game day comes. So I think it's trust, and trust isn't given; it's earned. And once you earn someone's trust, and it's kind of hard to take it away. You know what I mean? Especially if you guys keep being successful together.
What's it been like being around Geno Lewis, a veteran who plays the same position as you for the last month and a half here?
It's been awesome. Being around every single receiver has been awesome. Obviously this is my first year with the Elks, and Geno, he's a big time receiver in this league. And he's been nothing but just welcome in, and just the knowledge he brings to the game, and you can just tell once he gets on that field, he's a different person, a different animal, And obviously, I want to take a little bit away from his game in order to incorporate it into my game. But he's been amazing teammate as well too.
Hey, I want to get your thoughts on Canadians at the receiver position around the Canadian Football League. Like Hergy Mayala, for example, a couple of touchdowns. Emelis had a great year last year. Ademski, yourself, the Philpott boys, McInnes out in BC, Javon Cotoy out in BC. It's really becoming a significant position of strength for Canadian football players, isn't it?
Yes, and as it should be, because Canadians, we do have a bunch of ballers, and I think you're seeing it. I think we're showing it. And I think we're being consistent with it too. You know what I mean? It's not like it's just once every 5, 6, or 7 games. Week in, week out. You're going to see Canadian ball and multiple Canadians making plays all over the field, and it's a good thing to see. And I just hope that it continues to happen, and the Canadian receivers, not just the Canadian receivers, but the Canadian ballers, just get the credit and get the credit that they deserve.
Well, Kurleigh, that's why I have you on my fantasy list, leading my pack of Canadian receivers, to which I'm very excited about. I want to get your thoughts on what the Rough Riders showed you guys and what you're kind of expecting. I know maybe earlier in the week here for your prep or whatever, but Friday night against the defending champion Alouettes, who really, that defense looked lights out week 1 down in Winnipeg. So what did you see against the Riders, and how are you kind of preparing perhaps differently into this game at home once again, but against the defending champs?
Well, we kind of looked back at the film. We made the corrections we needed to make against Saskatchewan. They're a great football team, but we felt like we left a whole lot out there, and there's not much we can. We can't take back anything from the past. All we can do is learn and move on, and that's exactly what we're going to do. And we're looking forward to the challenge that Montreal brings. And I'm familiar with Montreal, especially being in out east for the last 5 years. So I'm really excited to play them. We're excited to play them, and we like a challenge, and we're just excited just to just showcase the team that we can be when we put it all together.
Kurleigh, we appreciate the time this morning, man. Keep rolling for fantasy, and we'll talk again in the future.
I appreciate you guys. You guys have a great day.
There you go, Kurleigh Gittens Jr. If you're playing CFL Fantasy, great Canadian spot.
I do love how maybe we can, each week we do trade-offs. We each get a player from our roster just to pump them up a little more and give them a little more encouragement, right?
Next week on the show, Nick Dembski. Nick, how many targets are you expecting this week?
Grow them a couple inches.
That'd be good. Yeah. Casino Dealer Jay says Elks and Owls will be a good game.
Oh, yeah.
I agree as well. Friday nights, looks like hopefully we get good weather. Tailgate, they got the new tailgate. They've got the new expanded, larger tailgate, which looks like an absolutely wonderful time.
It's such a tease on Saturday because I can only experience 5%
because it was
the
pouring
rain and everything.
Yeah.
So hopefully Friday again, and just taking a look. Bit of a tumultuous week in terms of weather, but looks like 20s, mid-20s, maybe risk of a thunder shower.
Whatever, that's
that,
fine.
It passes.
Give mid-20s.
It happens, it goes away.
Suck it up, right? That'd be a good time. If you want to get tickets, hop online, goelks.com. You can click on tickets. It's going to be 90s night, and I think 90s night is presented by our partners over at the Edmonton International Airport. So that's great. Everybody coming together. So hop online, goelks.com. 90s night, Edmonton versus Montreal. Commonwealth Friday night. I will have the call on that one for TSN. Should be a pretty good time. All right, this is the perfect transition. Let's go back to the Oilers last night. Here's a comment in the nasty chat. Kane stinks. McLeod stinks. Foegele sucks. Ooh.
Yeah.
Finish the rest of that one.
Yeah, there you go.
Finish the rest of that one. Don't need to.
But that's an illustration of
person.
it's the illustration of how it's going this morning. Yeah, very calm.
Yeah. I mean, I understand why people will be fired up right now. They're down 2-0 in the Stanley Cup Final. But
6 shots, 3 from McDavid. I get the McLeod thing, the Foegele
6
thing.
forward shots is it's a tough look. That's
Again,
a
when
tough look.
Foegele got the boot, everybody's like, "Oh, maybe it's a good thing." Same with the Nurse thing. Like when you get players leaving due to injury or misconduct or whatever, and fans are like, "Oh, this is great." That's a bit of a bad spot you got yourself in here. Hey.
What say you as far as adjustments heading into the and I mean, there's lots to still talk about from last night's game. The Leon Draisaitl hit on Barkov. I would think Barkov finds a way to play and Draisaitl's not suspended, so maybe it doesn't become like that series-changing moment. But maybe Barkov doesn't play. Maybe Leon's not suspended, and there is a swing there. Maybe Barkov doesn't play in the NHL because they are ridiculous, end up suspending Leon Draisaitl just because Barkov can't play, and then all of a sudden Thursday morning there's a miraculous recovery from Barkov and he's out there. So we got to see how that sorts itself out. There's some major storylines here. Darnell Nurse, is he even going to be able to go? Evander Kane, should he be playing? -3 last night for Evander Kane. Ryan McLeod has gone back to the Ryan McLeod that has only contributed for 1 game in the entire playoffs. And no forward had a shot outside of Hyman, Draisaitl, and McDavid last night. Simply not good enough. They were great in game 1. They didn't win it. As Noodles said today, maybe that was the missed opportunity, right? You get these few opportunities.
And that's why we were coming off game
it.
1 saying like, "Oh, no, I'm not going to," like, I understood that feeling in point as well, but man, at this point, you got to take those opportunities, right? At this stage of the tournament and the season and everything else, when those opportunities are there, you really got to take them. If you don't, you could be ruined that.
11 likes away from hitting 400. So let's hammer those thumbs up here before 8 o'clock. We'll change 400 before 8 o'clock for sure. This one is it's called Tilting Fantasy, a new segment where you get to tilt things in favor of your fantasy team with some good mojo, interviewing someone from your roster.
I'm telling you, it's just the power
well,
of
you
words.
have Collaros and Cody Fajardo, right?
You sure do.
We should have got Cody on this week. And you could have been like, Cody, your thoughts on continuing to play the way that you played last week?
Boy, you look good out there.
I have to say, Cody, you looked really nice. You know, Cody's a great dude to chat with. It would be fun to actually catch up with him this week.
He'd get it. He'd get the nastiness.
Yeah. Wow. Interesting. Guys, do you think that was the last play that we see Warren Foegele make in an Oilers uniform? So you were saying he would not play again in the series? I think like with Kane being at a point where you might have to take him on the lineup, I'm going to say no.
Because what's your answer?
I'm going to say no on that
If you're
one.
saying that, then how do you, like, what moves forward, right? Who's taking a spot? Who's taking Kane's spot? There's so many other things involved in that. But that's a thinker. It's made you pause for a second, hey?
This text in says, guys, I read a post that Barkov broke his jaw. I think I read the same post. It's from George Richards, who covers the Florida Panthers, and he said it looked like the way he was holding his face, he could have broken his jaw. I think that's the most we've seen so far there.
You quote-tweeted Richards last night.
You know what I want to see? And this is good. This came up here. Amish Man 19, or not Amish Man, Zulu. No, texts are fine. Yeah, Zulu here. Like, I want to see another look at Bennett's hit on Broberg in the corner. Like, Bennett came flying in. I think he was off his feet too. And he came in like this. I don't like.
And the camera's pointing at the front of Broberg.
The camera's in the corner. You can't see anything. I tweeted this morning. I said I want another look at this hit too. Like, if Draisaitl gets suspended for the hit on Barkov, you can't tell me that Bennett has played a completely clean series with some of the hits that he's dropped so far. Like, there's just that's incorrect. But I don't think he's going to get suspended. If his elbow had come out, I could see him getting suspended. But his arms, he was trying to like make the hit like this, and the elbow happened to hit Barkov's head because he was trying to down like this to make a play. So I'd be stunned. I mean, if this was a guy who had a reputation for being suspended for headshots 4 times, then it's obviously a different conversation. But I just don't see that being the case.
Even the Carrick stick to the pills. We haven't mentioned that this morning, but if there's
that was
right
to the nuts.
Holy, that was a 2-hander.
Right to the nuts.
Whew.
Yeah. Was it Pat Quinn, legendary Pat Quinn, who once said, "Fight dirt with dirt."
But that's again to the point. If they're given the dark arts, get into the dark arts. Use these 2 days to get your black belt and get on with it.
I say right off the draw next game, Desharnais goes full back mount on Tkachuk. If we're playing the MMA choke game, like rear naked choke on Tkachuk, legs wrapped around the waist, and don't let him tap. Send a message early.
Yeah.
Send the message early. 780-218-9999. Let's play a little kind of easy trivia to get rolling in hour number 3. Gift certificate to Mr. Mike's Steakhouse Casual up for grabs. If you would like to play today, text us right now, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. Get your hands on that gift certificate to Mr. Mike's. Just need to get 3 of the 5 questions correct, changing 400. Let's keep rolling. Hammer those thumbs up here. They'll turn the series. Turn the series right around. Let Zach know that you want to play. 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. Zach will choose one of you. You will get to play kind of easy trivia coming up. 3 questions too many on the way as well. We do have those the tickets to the Kids Sport event. We will get to that in hour number 3. Chance to get a VIP table at the Great Outdoors Comedy Festival. Gage is going to be by. That hurts for SBLLP, your personal injury lawyers. And 3 questions too many as well. Busy third hour coming up. Let's get to a sports update right now for Claiborne Services. If you are looking for work, and many of you might be, or maybe you have a job, you're not making that much money, and you just want to make a ton of money. Claiborne Services, they can do both. They can hire you and pay you well. ClaiborneServices.com. Rick's got more on that with Sports Update.
Evan Rodriguez had a pair of goals as the Panthers now a 2-0 series lead in the Stanley Cup Final following last night's 4-1 victory over the Edmonton Oilers. Matthias Ekholm getting the Oilers on the board. First goal of the Cup Finals for the club as Game 3 will go Thursday night back here in Edmonton. Last night on Edmonton Sports Talk, it was the Riverhawks shutting out the Kelowna Falcons 5-zip from Remax Field to open a 3-game series. The Hawks now sit second in the North Division, sporting a record of 6-4. That's good for a game and a half back of the Wenatchee Apple Sox. Game 2 tonight from Remax Field. First pitch, 7:05. If you can't make it down, you can catch all the action live here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Al Coates with the call. Blue Jays dropping the opener of a series in Milwaukee, 3-1 to the Brewers. Game 2 of that 3-game set goes tonight. Yusei Kikuchi scheduled to start. First pitch, 6:10. The Edmonton Elks look to rebound following Saturday's loss to Saskatchewan. They get set to host the Alouettes Friday. Tickets available now at goelks.com or on Ticketmaster. Take your career to the next level with Claiborne Services. They are hiring all positions, including journeyman bricklayers and apprentices of all levels. Take advantage of their outstanding mentorship program and work with peace of mind knowing they are an industry leader in safety. Visit www.claiborneservices.com or make it easy and give Jeff a call, 780-910-6728.
I'm your huckleberry. Oh, dude. I'm your huckleberry. Oh, dude.
No!
I'm your huckleberry. Oh, dude.
Skin that smoke wagon and see what happens.
I'm your huckleberry. Oh, dude. That is a hell of a thing for you to say to me. I'm your huckleberry.
I'm tapping.
You tell him I'm coming, and hell's coming with me, you hear? Hell's coming with me!
Oh, a little Tombstone / Creed Tuesday for you here on a Tuesday, the morning after the Edmonton Oilers drop Game 2 to the Florida Panthers. I know some of you are looking at it going, well, this is that time where Gretzky had to learn to lose before he won. And you're saying, Florida's been there. They look like they've been there. The Oilers haven't been there just yet. I mean, that's a conversation. It's a conversation. Let's see how Game 3 goes, and then we'll go from there.
It is a conversation, one which crossed my mind a few times last night, but we will, again, we're not we're not there yet.
780-218-9999. That'll get you into the Paris Jewelers inbox today. 22 locations across 4 provinces. Check them out, www.parisjewelers.com. And, of course, one of you are going to win Text of the Day today for A&W. And take that A&W gift certificate. Go get yourself some delicious, delicious whistle dogs. Zacticum is trying to grab somebody for kind of easy trivia. I know there's a few people in there that want to play, but if you are just listening right now and you want to play kind of easy trivia, fire a text over to Zach, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999, and Zacticum will grab one of those fine folks to play a little kind of easy trivia with you this morning. We'll get to 3 questions too many. Gager's on the way. That hurts. Still coming up for your personal injury lawyers at SBLLP. And the wrap for William Huff still to come as well. 3 questions too many. Should be good. Let's do this quickly right now as Zacticum gets our contestant today. Join Edmonton Sports Talk for a fun night in support of kids sport. It's Bids for Kids, 5:30 to 8:30, Wednesday, June 19th. This is next Wednesday. It's presented by our partners over at GS Construction. Great job by GS Construction being out in the community here. I will be joined hopefully by Rashog. We're going to see how this playoff schedule works out here. Myself, Rashog, some other members of the EST crew for a live broadcast from the Bell in Scona. It's 90s theme night, so you know it's going to be a good time. Grab tickets to support a great cause at www.kidsportbidsforkids.com, and you go into a door prize draw for an Alberta Mountain giveaway. All right, so if you want, what we do have right now is a pair of tickets to this event. All right, so just text in right now, Bids for Kids, and we will hook you up with a pair of tickets to this event. Next Wednesday night, 5:30 to 8:30. It's another nice fundraiser. So many great fundraisers for kids sport. And we're going to be doing the show live from Bell Scona, like a little special sort of EST evening discussion. Obviously, a lot of it will be around the Oilers, but you can come, you can watch live, you can get in on some of the auctions that they got going on there as well. Help raise some money, enjoy a good show. We're going to try to set up so you can come on and ask some questions and stuff. So it should be a lot of fun. All right. So if you want to get some tickets, hop online, www.kidsportbidsforkids.com, and you go in to that door prize draw for the Alberta Mountain giveaway just by getting a ticket to the event and being there. But we have a pair of tickets right now. All right. So 780-218-9999. Zacticum, do we have somebody to play kind of easy trivia?
Yes, we do. Jamie is going to be playing today.
All right. Perfect. We'll get to Jamie in 1 second. Text Bids for Kids. Just text Bids for Kids, and we'll hook somebody up with a pair of tickets to that event, which is going to be a lot of fun next Wednesday night. Bids for Kids, if you want to win the free tickets to come join us for that event. All right, who'd you say was playing? Jamie?
Yeah.
Jamie's going to play kind of easy trivia today. Needs to get 3 of 5 correct. Get 3 of 5 correct, win a gift certificate to Mr. Mike's Steakhouse Casual, the casualest place ever in the Hampton Inn on the corner of 137th Ave and Mark Messier Trail, the Moose. Got that 6 o'clock lager in the house and the delicious classic Mike Burger. All right, Jamie, are you ready to play kind of easy trivia today?
Sounds good.
All right, I'll start the ticker. I have to read the first question. You need 3 of 5. Good luck, my man. Here we go. Who scored the only goal for the Oilers last night?
Matthias Ekholm.
What position does Ekholm play?
He's a defenseman.
Name one defenseman on the Panthers.
Oh, fuck, I hate so much of them. I don't know.
What plastic animal do they throw on the ice in Florida?
They throw rats on
Which
the
TV
ice.
show or movie had a rat named Splinter? You got it. You're good. You got at least 3. We're good.
You can't have a newcomer come in and steal the show.
That's a peddling.
Oh, we've been strong. We're just playing by the rules.
Ooh, you better believe that's a peddling.
And I was in Miami with my new beach house. Well, it was a couple minutes from the beach.
That's a peddling.
The first year, we took it to the limit.
You cannot come to my house. No, not today.
You cannot come to my house. No, not today.
Congratulations to Jamie going to Mr. Mike's Steakhouse Casual. The nasty chat is absolutely flying today, so that's great. Let's hammer the thumbs up over on YouTube as well, and we continue to break down the Oilers' loss to the Florida Panthers. Lots of passionate text messages flying in as well.
It's the goal count versus the save percentage right now, and which can win you a cup on its own without the other, without needing the other.
Well, listen, you're not going to win a Stanley Cup scoring 1 goal every 2 games.
Yeah.
And I know I saw somebody say you're not going to win a Stanley Cup with an .893 save percentage. Well, guess what? Darcy Kemper won a Stanley Cup with a .902 save percentage.
It can be done.
That's not much of a difference. You don't need to have a Bobrovsky .970 to win the Stanley Cup. What you need to do is score some bloody goals if you're the Edmonton Oilers. This is not a goaltending conversation as far as Stuart Skinner goes. I'm sorry. Is he being outplayed by Bobrovsky? Sure. But is Skinner the reason in any way, shape, or form this team is down 2-0? No, so stop it. That's just not the case. I'm sorry. Last night, they had 3 forwards who had a shot on goal last night. Stop texting about the goalie. They had 3 forwards who had a shot on goal last night. That was way too easy of night for Bobrovsky. It was amazing that Ekholm's even snuck through him. That 5-hole is airtight.
Well, and Bobrovsky didn't think it was
a horrible goal.
He looked back. What the heck?
That was an absolutely awful goal. Worst goal of the series so far, undoubtedly. But it's the only goal they scored so far. So we'll see where this goes out from here, but I do not have any time for people trying to hang a loss of this series on Stuart Skinner. I am sorry. Let's see where it goes the rest of the way. But when you have the best offensive player in the world, another one of the top 2 or 3 offensive players in the world, a guy who scored 50 goals, a guy who had 100 points last year, and they don't have a goal yet in the series from a forward, that's where the finger gets pointed 100% of the time.
And you knew you didn't have the goalie coming into this series to deal with a Bobrovsky if you aren't scoring goals. Maybe Skinner steals one, and maybe that happens throughout this, but that he's not on that level, and you can't go into this. That's what I think. I love the weighing of what do you need more, the save percentage or goals. Well, you need both in a sense, but you weren't going to get into this chess match of 1-goal games with the Panthers.
No, of course not.
No.
780-218-9999. I think Blair from Calgary said it best. I think the Oilers need to hear the Kavis Reed pump-up song, boys.
I can remember back being an 11-year-old kid about 75 pounds on the basketball court against the neighborhood bully, kicking his behind left, right, and center. And when it was all said and done, he was a little bit upset, so he punched me in the mouth. My uncles were over on the side observing, talking amongst themselves, adult things. When he punched me in the mouth, I decided I'm running to my uncle. You know what he did? He pushed me back to him. I went back, he punched me in my mouth again. I ran to my uncle, looking for protection. Needing Big Bro to protect me. He pushed me back again. And you know what I did? I faced him in the eye. And I said, my uncle's not going to help me. So I punched him in the face. And then I looked him in the eye and I said, then what? Now what? Now what? Now what are you going to do? You're simply the best. Better than all the rest.
Than anyone I ever met. Smitty the Welder. In the nasty chat. By the way, 427 likes. I like it. Hammer that thumbs up. Gager can be by. We have 500 by the time Gager rolls in.
It's quite the debate, though, going on right there.
I don't know.
In the nasty chat.
So
right now,
Smitty the Welder says, is Bob the reason the Panthers are up 2-0? Sorry, Dusty, but Stanley Cup goalies need to make a save for your team. Just like Bob is for the Panthers. Goaltending is a huge part of this series. Smitty, the only part I will agree with you on is that goaltending is a huge part of this series. And the reason the Panthers are up 2-0 is because of Bobrovsky. If it wasn't for Bobrovsky, this series would be 1-1. But I don't know how you can hang any of this on Stuart Skinner. The team has scored 1 goal. The power play's 0 for 7. Skinner's fault. The Oilers forwards last night had 6 shots. Put it on Skinner. What the hell are you talking about, man? This series is not on Skinner right now. My God. Bouchard passed the puck to the other team, who then immediately shot it through 2 guys into the back of the net. Skinner should have stopped it. Come on, man. You're being ridiculous. The series is about goaltending because Bobrovsky absolutely stole game 1. But how can you hang any of this on Skinner? All-time bad take, Smitty. God love you. Appreciate the support. But all-time bad take to put any of this on Stuart Skinner. It's not the case. They have one goal through 2 games. It literally would be impossible for them to be up 2-0. If Skinner had back-to-back shutouts, they still wouldn't be up 2-0. So, no, that's not the discussion. Don't make this. I saw some people last night on Twitter trying to make it a Stuart Skinner thing. Watch the game, man. Even look at the numbers. They have 0 goals from their forwards through 2 games. Skinner could literally be standing on his head at the other end of the ice. Wouldn't mean anything. I just can't understand how such a knowledgeable hockey fan base in this city can be so stupid when it comes to blaming Stuart Skinner for any of this.
Toon says the driving cat does chime into the nasty chat. A legit number 1 would have reduced the total games played thus far of these playoffs by 2 to 3 games.
What are we talking about? A legitimate number 1? What do you mean?
Outside of Skinner.
Like they would have played less games?
You're really zooming this thing out in terms of...
So
that would mean
they would have won all the series in 5 games.
Yeah. And Nurse would maybe be a little less big up. I mean, just trying to get you going here a bit, but
I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say. I'm at a loss of words. Let's get into 3 questions too many. Lieutenant Eric, do you have a liner for the segment today?
3 questions too many, brought to you by the great staff at Park Mazda.
Don't you dare say Mitch is blaming Skinner.
Well, he's not. He's blaming Campbell. Park Mazda, your dealer for life.
Why not go to Campbell? You might as well play Pickard at this point.
I'll start calling you Tommy here if you don't.
I'm going to do. I'm this close to Tommy voice.
Full Gazzola.
I'm this close to Tommy voice.
Capital G.
You don't want to go full Tommy voice, but I'm this close to doing it. This close.
Give the man a wrench.
My God. Do you have a Twitter account?
At Lieutenant_Eric, you can follow on Twitter, to which, and I want to get the account right here, at Codeman Briggs, tweeting at us this morning, Dusty. Okay, so you're up 2-0. That don't impress me much with a picture of Shania Twain laying down.
That's nice. That's
hey,
good.
Maybe that's the song she kicks things off with the party thing, everything in Game 3. But I like that little memeology. I did tweet last night. I could see them win the next 2.
Yeah, I mean they could.
Who am I talking about though? That's game's afoot. I kind of got a lot of people with that one. So yeah, at Lieutenant_Eric. And according to TSN, 58% of Canadians not following the Stanley Cup Final.
You know what? It was funny because was that from TSN?
Yeah,
that was funny actually with the twist.
Because they're part.
I saw like the game 1
talking about the Leafs offseason, right?
Game 1 and game 2 were about a 3.1 million, which is a Grey Cup. So
awkward.
As many people are watching the Stanley Cup Final as watch the Grey Cup.
Ooh, ouch,
wow,
that hurts.
That's weird, isn't
I also want to get to a tweet. Brian Swain, we love him a lot. He's always got these really
a great number.
info-packed tweets. In their last 9 games, the Oilers have been outscored 13-1 in the third period. The lone goal scored into an empty net. I think McCurdy followed it up with a few of those other ones were empty netters as well. But I mean, you do the ratio again. They're being outscored in the third.
Say that tweet again.
Last 9 games. Outscored 13-1 in the final period.
Skinner's got to be better. I mean, they've got 1 goal in their last 9 third periods. I mean, if it wasn't for Skinner, they would have played way fewer games. Think about that. A team with Draisaitl, McDavid, Nuge, and Hyman have 1 goal. Is that real? 1 goal in their last 9 third periods, and it was an empty netter?
It's a bizarre line. McCurdy checked it out too. And again, the 13 is a little inflated by a couple of those being, I do believe, empties, but still, the ratio's there. Yeah, it's damning. And especially with that, I mean, the main ingredient to the success of this team is scoring goals and the high-powered, high-octane offense.
Filthy says, maybe instead of calling people stupid, you want to actually listen to people and explore their ideas of calling, instead of calling, listen, man, I'm not exploring ideas on hanging any of this series on Stuart Skinner. It's a stupid take.
DM them to me and I'll forward them to him.
Go ahead.
I'm listening.
Get them to me a different way. But when the team has scored, I don't know. I can't believe I even need to talk about this. When the team has scored 1 goal in 2 games, you cannot hang it on your goalie. It's lazy. It's a horrible take. Stop it. Be better as a city than trying to put any of this on Stuart Skinner. My God, I thought we were smarter than this.
Smitty the Waller says, it's funny you think I'm only blaming Skinner. Ha ha ha. He's a big part of this, whether you like it or not. Tommy says, go full wrench. Do it.
How is Skinner a big part of this? What are we talking about? I look, if they were down 2-0 right now and they lost games and Skinner had allowed 5 goals in both games, I get it. But he's like, oh my God.
And that's Jeremy S makes a point here, and that's what I was talking about too. This wasn't they weren't engaging in a one goal a goal a game per se. Skinner's doing everything possible. What are we expecting? Pitching a shutout every game so we can win 1-0. This team is not. We said they've learned to do that at times, but this isn't a 1-0 team.
Skinner could get a shutout in game 3, and people be like, should have had one in game 2. Like that's where it's at right now.
You got to score.
My God, why don't you just put Grant Fuhr back in net? Okay, he used to allow 6, but he wouldn't allow the 7th. My God, horrible goalie takes.
Full wrench.
40 bloody years. All right, we got Gager locked and loaded. We'll get to him after 8:30. What are we doing right now? 3 questions?
What are we doing
Let's get to 3 questions. Let's get to 3 questions.
Well, as Filthy says, lazy hosting is sticking to 1 point instead of reviewing all options.
What are you talking about? What do you mean sticking to 1 point? What do you mean review all options, Filthy? What are you even talking about? Stop. So no more Filthy.
It's nasty.
No more Filthy.
Nasty.
They're making no sense. What are you talking about? Power plays 0 for 7. They can't score. Their forwards have 0 goals. Let's talk about the goaltending. Try again.
6 shots from the forward group, 3 from McDavid.
Yeah, but you know what? If Skinner could headman the puck better, they'd have more shots. Holy smokes. I'm just disappointed. I'm disappointed in everybody for thinking that, or not everybody, because it's not everybody who would think this, because it's a horrible take. But I'm disappointed in those of you who are sitting there going, well, Skinner, come on, man.
We need to get back out to the baseball diamond where things make sense.
I need to go coach. I need to go coach a United baseball game right now.
Touch some shale, baby, and get real.
I don't understand it.
Tom's loving it.
I don't get it.
Tom is getting emotional.
I'm still not doing Tommy voice. Tommy at home is doing Tommy voice right now.
Tommy watching you is like you watching Marshall at second base last night.
Marshall was great at second base last night. Oh, God.
Marshall Alomar.
I love Marshall Alomar.
Get him in that turtleneck.
Yeah. It's just, all right. Hammer the thumbs up on YouTube.
Can you get Marshall to say catch the taste and video it?
Oh, that would be good, actually. You know what? I will. I'll do that and I'll send that to you. Please. Catch the taste. All right. Question number 1. You can send your questions to 780-218-9999, unless they're about how Skinner's costing them the Stanley Cup Final. Hey, guys, I know this is lame, but are injuries becoming an excuse for why the Oilers aren't going to win?
Again, I hate using the word excuse, but I will say reason at times.
Yeah,
and they can be a reason.
Yeah.
They can. I mean, if you have your say that hypothetically, if 75% of their team right now couldn't play, that would be a reason that they can't move on or do this thing. You don't use it as excuses, but again, this tough sport of hockey where we're like, both my legs are broke, but I'm gonna go out there and tough it out. Well, at what point do we say no, enough is enough, and let's bring in a healthy body? Albeit maybe a little less on skill or whatever you want to say it when both are healthy. I hate playing the injured. So if you're rolling out there with a bunch of guys at 50%, I mean, excuse, reason, whatever you want to call it, but have some healthier players in there and go down swinging with a healthy lineup instead of guys at 50%. I just don't like that whole, I'm going to tough it out here. Reason, not excuse.
And
they've been healthy all year. We've sat here and we've
I have a lot
talked
of time
about
for the it's a reason, but it's not an excuse thing. In a lot of different situations, not
Sure.
like in all
No,
of sports.
it's not black and white.
No, it is. It's not an excuse, but it could end up being a reason. We'll see what happens with Nurse. At this point, and I said it in the 6 o'clock hour today, like at this point, you don't want to sit there and go, like Evander Kane is clearly playing through something of significance. He's laboring. At this point, I think he's probably hurting your team more than he's helping your team.
There's a line there, right?
So,
I mean, if you can't sit down on the bench, or whatever the case is.
Yeah. Question number 2. Guys, with the lack of anything from forwards, is it time to mix up the top 6 entirely?
Okay.
Well, I mean, they kind of had to do it with Kane being moved around and being limited already. I leave Nuge, McDavid, and Hyman alone.
Sure.
Maybe there's something you can do with the Draisaitl line, but I know what one thing I would do is make sure you get McLeod on the wing. We know he's completely useless at center. He's
McLeod on the wing, Henry center.
Almost everywhere. Yeah.
You keeping Holloway with Draisaitl. I mean, he's still throwing the body around. He's making.
Maybe you go Holloway, McLeod, and Draisaitl. Ugh. I don't know.
Foegele still. I mean,
McLeod and Foegele.
Yeah.
Like McLeod and Foegele got to do something at some point here. I mean, they just have to.
Ryan back in, Perry.
You know,
there have been a lot of shouts for those two.
Noodles suggested today maybe Perry. Perry goes in if you take Kane out. If
they both can't do anything,
last night,
one guy's healthier than the other.
Yeah.
Right?
All right, question number 3. People wanted us to talk about this all day, but guys, is it time to unleash Sam Gagner? I mean, look, guys, Sam is like, by all accounts, one of the best dudes ever. But
what was the question? Unleash? Was that the word used? Oh, boy, okay.
I mean, they've been keeping him in a cage.
What time do we offer up Sam Gagner would be my word choice there.
I want to say this in just the politest of ways, but I just don't know if Sam Gagner saves the series.
Sam might agree with you on this.
I'm sure he'd want to get in there. I'm sure
no,
he'd want
getting
to go,
in there,
but
ask him to, geez, what do we... As a few texters said earlier on, I mean, this would be almost an admission of... I don't know. I'd rather put him in when you're up 3-1 or something.
Yeah, to get him a game before they win the cup. That's not the situation they're in here.
No, not yet.
Now, if they lose game 3, it's like, can they beat Florida 4 times in a row? It's gonna be tough. I didn't think they'd be able to beat Dallas 3 games in a row, and they beat them 3 games in a row.
Again,
can they beat Florida? Can they beat Florida 2 games in a row twice?
Tougher than everything else, but
right?
Every hurdle that they face, they have jumped over. To which a lot of us some days are coming in here and saying, that's it. Very tough though. Very, very tough.
780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. If you're watching over on YouTube, hammer the thumbs up. Closing in on 500 likes. So if you want to throw a thumbs up our way this morning, we can definitely get into that.
Unleash, hey?
I mean, if that's what it takes, then that's what it takes.
That's very, okay.
Guys, they just had a week off. Why would saying 1 game in 3 weeks ago matter? Skinner has been an issue in the playoffs previously, but not in the Stanley Cup Final. 1 goal is the issue. D-men giveaways and whiffs on pass breakups in the slot. Being outscored 13-1 in the last 9 games in the third is an issue. There's a lot of issues.
Yes.
But they still get to come home for 2. I'm still very awkwardly and strangely confident that this series isn't over yet.
You can't doubt them. Everything they've been through. And again, you mentioned too, the post-game attitude from everyone in front of microphones last night. They're ready for this puppy. It's a challenge. It almost seems like all of these things need some sort of a rankings-based system. A
weekly
very
rankings
powerful
of power.
type of brought to you by the Ranch Golf and Country Club tomorrow. Eh?
That's a good idea. Let's do that tomorrow. All right, Gager's coming up. By the way, how about this? Big Mama's and Papa's Pizzeria. Was I telling you about this yesterday?
The guy that ordered the one, but it wasn't the big one, and then he had a box by the couch?
Yeah, we had somebody who slid it. I think he slid into my DMs or was just tweeting at me. Must have just been tweeting at me. And they ordered the 36-incher for game 1. And they destroyed it, and all he had left to take a picture of was the box, and it's the size of the back of the couch. You saw that box when it came in here, 36-incher from Big Mamas and Papas.
I was so amazed at their custom-made bags that they put the box in. I don't know where you order those from, like those big pizza bags.
Somebody's sewing those somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
That's impressive. All right, we'll get to Gager coming up. That Hurts is on the way as well for SBLLP. Chance to get in the mix on the Great Outdoors Comedy Festival as well. Second half of this third hour of the show is completely jam-packed. Let's get to a sports update for Big Mama's and Papa's Pizzeria with Lieutenant Eric.
Well, there's no trail. The Stanley Cup Final is 2-0 following a 4-1 loss last night down in Florida. Matthias Ekholm scoring the Oilers' first goal of the Cup Finals. Game 3 will go Thursday night here in Edmonton. Last night on Edmonton Sports Talk, the Riverhawks shutting out Kelowna 5-0 from Remax Field to open a 3-game series. Hawks now second in the North with a 6-4 record. Game 2 goes tonight back at Remax. First pitch 7:05. Al Coates has the call. You can catch the action live here on Edmonton Sports Talk, the iHeart and TuneIn radio apps as well. Blue Jays dropping the opener of a series in Milwaukee last night, 3-1 to the Brewers. Game 2 of 3 goes later tonight. Yusei Kikuchi scheduled to start, first pitch 6:10. And the Edmonton Elks look to rebound following Saturday's loss to Saskatchewan. They'll get set to host the defending champion and 1-0 Montreal Alouettes on Friday. Tickets available, goelks.com or at Ticketmaster. Sports update brought to you by Big Mama's and Papa's Pizzeria. BMPP is a real pizzeria restaurant, not just a delivery pizza chain. Serving authentic Italian cuisine with their made-in-house pizza dough, traditional tomato sauce, and fresh toppings. Each pizza is cooked to perfection. A pizza experience that you've been waiting for. Check them out today, 12848 97th Street. Online at www.bmpp.ca or call 587-746-0550.
I think we're gonna be glad. I think it's today, yeah. Connor Brown scored last night. His dragon is slain. He's finally off the schneid. He's finally off the schneid. Connor Brown's off of the schneid. It's about fucking time. He's had chances galore, 2-1s and breakaways, yeah. But he could never score, even strength of power play. He's finally off the schneid. He's finally off the schneid. Connor Brown's off of the schneid. It's about fucking time. Got to play McDavid line. You should have scored once, you should have scored twice by now. And got to play alongside Drive. How could he not score? How did he not score? How? He's played on every line, but he's best on PK. Yeah. He could never find the twine till he found his last game. He's finally off the schneid. He's finally off the schneid. Connor Brown's off of the schneid. It's about fucking time. It's about fucking time. It's about fucking time.
Oh, you know what? I played that. It's for sport ball, of course. Put your kids in sport ball today. If you love them, then eventually they can grow up. They can play U9 baseball, and you can love coaching the game. Your kid will have a smile on their face as they learn multiple sports. Visit www.sportball.ca for more info on all the sports programs they offer. And if you're still looking and planning for some kids' summer camps, www.levelupcamps.ca/find a camp. Basketball, golf, football, volleyball, even a gaming camp over there with the folks who bring you sport ball. That's going to get the team off the schneid. That's what's just happened here, right? The whole forward group is currently on the schneid. The Connor Brown off the schneid song will get them off the schneid.
I tweeted out, should the Oilers unleash Sam Gagner for Game 3? And people are, the one word's coming back, magic. Oh, God. And that's coming to this, right?
Love it. You know,
you can throw your fancies and your courses and everything and your eye tests, all that out the window. We are dealing now in magic.
That's a whole episode on the show.
Magic is going to save the Oilers now.
Whole episode on whatever show they're going to put together from this run. All right, there he is. Joaquin Gage. Gager, I have to ask you, how much is Stuart Skinner to blame for the Edmonton Oilers being down 2-0? Is Gager muted?
No, he's just swearing.
Gager, did you mute yourself? It's all just beeps.
I was talking about Cass too. That's what Cass says. It's all Skinner's fault all the time. No, this is crazy. This is crazy talk. All right, quit taking your crazy pills. This team has scored 1 goal. Not even I could provide a win in this type of situation, Dusty. So let's look. The Edmonton Oilers have not been good enough against the Florida Panthers. It's inexcusable. Only 1 goal in those first 2 games. So you can't. I know Bobrovsky was good, but look, he's there's no second chances. Like they're just you have to revert back to the simplest form of hockey: shooting the puck, going to the net, looking for rebounds, getting in front. Like you're not trying to reinvent the wheel here. It's the offensive side of the game isn't good enough.
Gage, we saw in game one, they peppered them. I mean, they played very well in game one, but did not win game one. Was last night the Oilers taking their foot off the gas, or did Florida just find another gear last night? Because if that's the case, and the Oilers didn't take their foot off the gas, then I think they'd be in a little bit of trouble. But I don't know. I just didn't think they had it going last night.
No, it's kind of I mean, they did have good chances game one. I will say that. But no, that's the Florida team that we were all expecting, right? The extra stuff after the whistle, very physical. You know, that's getting guys off their game a little bit. The huge hit on Nurse, like when you saw that when it first happened, I was like, oh my gosh, is he still alive? The Oilers have to respond in kind in that sort of fashion. Not, I don't want to say like taking silly runs or spending more time in the penalty box, but I think they have to up their physical game a little bit, Dusty. Finishing checks. You can't, especially with that decor, you can't let them off the hook at any point if you want to, like wearing them down, kind of what the Florida Panthers have been known for throughout this whole playoffs.
Gager, and we're not going to get into the goaltending again, but you did bring up the offense, which is the counter to this point, and 6 shots from the forward group last night, 3 which coming from Connor McDavid, Draisaitl with 2, and Hyman with the final. I just want to get your thoughts and looking ahead here a little bit to Game 3. What do you do with this lineup? Evander Kane can't seem to sit down. Ryan McLeod is, I guess, being Ryan McLeod still. Foegele, of course, leaving with the misconduct. What are you looking at in terms of additions, subtractions, or lineup changes heading into a very crucial Game 3?
I mean, it's so hard because you work so hard and long to get to this position, right? And even when I saw Darnell Nurse come back and sit on the bench, I was kind of like, dude, why don't you just go back into the room and get some work done? You know, like I know there's something to, I mean, there were the Chara comparisons, right? Getting the puck to the face and not being able to do things, but try to get better. You know, I don't think there isn't an emotional lift to see him sitting there. You know, he's in pain, but I think he would have been better suited to go, okay, what's wrong with him? Let's start working on this problem, trying to get him ready for possibly the next game. And saying that, if you're not ready, and if Evander Kane, and again, you know, you're trying to do the best you can, and you think you can provide something, but I think it sometimes with certain injuries, it does get to the point where you're actually hindering the success of a team rather than giving that emotional lift. Everyone knows how tough you are already for what you've gone through. All right. But now it might be a little bit of humble pie and time to go, look, I'm just not the player that you need, because Evander Kane would be perfect. A healthy Evander Kane would be perfect for this series, but he can't do it. You see the one push, he gets hit, and it's almost like he's on a skateboard. Like he's trying to get going with one leg there. And he's a -3 last night, right? It's too quick, too fast. Time for Evander maybe to pull the reins back and let someone that's not as banged up fill his position.
And kind of like the Panthers in last year's final too. I mean, the injuries that they had.
Yeah,
what are you going to do? You can't do anything when you're.
Oh, that's a fair point. Joaquin Gage with us on the show today for Pro Am Sports. Gager, what do you think of the Draisaitl hit on Barkov, and do you expect anything to come from it?
There better not anything come from it. If like this guy took a two-handed whack over the hands last year, right? Followed through with the hit. You know, it's funny because there's different angles, but I find the Bennett hit on Broberg way more predatory than the Draisaitl.
He came flying in like he had him picked, and I want to see more angles on that Broberg hit. The Bennett hit.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know which way the NHL is going with hits like that. Like back in my day, that was a great hit. You know, you went out and you were a heat-seeking missile going to blow someone up. But now it's more, is it a play on the puck more? Like that was a vicious hit. Draisaitl, the arm came up a little bit. But maybe a fine, but really, I don't. 2-minute penalty, yes, sure, I'm fine.
Yeah,
with
I
that.
thought they got it right. Like I
review.
think they called it right, man. I think they called it right.
I think it was perfect. You can't make the head the initial point of contact, right? And that's what it was on that hit. But if Barkov's head isn't down, Leon follows through the chest. So 2 minutes, that's it.
This text comes in from Big Dave and says, guys, can you ask Gager if he thinks that Bob might be in the Oilers' head after that game one? Seems like they're overthinking their offense right now. What say you, Gager?
Yeah, Bob, that's a good point. I was thinking that the same thing. But again, this is the point where usually when you get to this time of year, to score a goal, you have to do something quite special, And those first 2 goals, great play by the Panthers coming up ice. That puck did dip a lot, and you were allowed to kind of really step into that. That's a tough save to make. The second one, Rodriguez, that nice tip. Third one, giveaway. There's something special going on with those goals, right? They're not just, I guess the first one's kind of a clear-cut one. You'd like Stuart Skinner to make a save, but you see that knuckle puck kind of go in. The shot selection that the Oilers are taking now, I think they are thinking it has to be a perfect shot upstairs.
Yeah.
And what drives me nuts, Dusty, is everyone's he's so good down low. He's so good down low. Yeah. Bobrovsky's one of the best in the league down low. But when you shoot down low, there's still rebounds. There's still second chance opportunity. There's no one going to the net and looking for that.
They have not made life bad for Bobrovsky at all in this series.
But, no, it's been smooth sailing for Bobrovsky. He hasn't had to battle through screens, nothing. It's they have to have that net front presence and get, like a lot of other teams throughout this whole playoff series, just that quiet little wrister, and Zach Hyman does a great job in front, but I think you need more than just one guy. He's one guy battling against 2 most of the time when he's out there. It's just not going to work.
Gager, what's their path to getting back in this series, do you think? Like, does it have to be power play goes 3 for 5 next game? Because with some of the injuries and some of the guys just being non-productive up front.
Big game from Skinner,
I feel
maybe,
like,
hey?
Well, Skinner will steal one. But, part of me thinks that might be the only way they get back in here is if the power play gets going.
Well, I was going to say that they have to score first, but it happened yesterday, right?
Yeah.
And I thought that maybe then the Panthers open it up a little bit more, and there just wasn't enough from the Oilers. They didn't have a good performance. Skinner, you look at the last game against the Dallas Stars and even the game prior. I think he was the main reason for both victories, but there was run support. Are you expecting Stuart Skinner to pitch? He's kept them in the game. No, the Oilers have to revert to the simplest form of hockey at this point. I still, when you look at the lineups on the forward side, I think they trump them skill wise. And if the hard work and execution match the Panthers, the skill will eventually take over for the Oilers. And I think you'll see a victory in that point. But saying that, it's a must win on Thursday night. I think they could still take it to 7, but trying to beat that Florida Panthers team 4 games in a row, that becomes a very daunting task.
So you're questioning my Oilers in 6 pick. I see. Interesting.
Well, yeah. I'm just saying it's a must win, Dusty. If there's any team that could rattle off 4 in a row, I think the Oilers could, but that's against that Panthers team.
That's tough to do.
Yeah. That's a tall.
Yeah, like their best path here would be the same thing the Penguins did against the Red Wings, where they dropped the first 2, and then 1-2, lost 1, 1-2 more. Right? That's something that maybe is going to have to happen.
They can do that. It didn't go well in Florida. I think so. I think that's kind of what you, as a coach and as a player, that's what you're telling yourself. Like, look, we haven't done our best throughout our whole lineup. I'm interested to see what changes Chris makes to his lineup. But yeah, if I'm one of the coaching staff in those meetings, I'm saying, look, we can't have guys that are we know are banged up and can't perform at at a higher level. If we can get someone in that's a little bit fresher, you definitely go that route.
More on that on Two Guys and a Goalie, presented by GS Construction today at noon right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. But we cannot let you go without talking about the Canadian Grand Prix. What a race. Max benefiting from the safety car and pitting, and Lando kind of getting screwed. Lewis Hamilton being passed by Russell right near the end of the race. The rain coming, the rain going.
And Stroll in the points.
Oh, Stroll in the points. Logan Sargent shouldn't be even one of the drivers. Gager, there's so much to break. What a great Sunday race.
It was awesome. Like, I don't know, Dusty, except for, I mean, even if you go back to the big boo-boo in Abu Dhabi with Lewis and Max winning the championship, I don't remember the last time that the focal point was on the front of the pack for the better part of a race. That was the first time in years where we were watching what was happening at the front, right? And the interchanging. I mean, I wanted to call Eric because of Haas going full wets and just cutting through everyone like butter. Kevin Magnussen,
that was amazing,
jumping up 9 places, and then we're like, oh my gosh, is he going to be able to catch the leaders at this point? And then it dries out, and then the wheels fall apart, and then it was the most enjoyable race. And even I was watching it with my daughter, and she kept asking me questions, which was quite annoying because she never watches with me. But now she's all in. I think she kind of likes Lando, though. It's a little bit.
I think even too, Gager, you're probably more interested in watching that Doppler radar during the race, right? I mean, the race within the race of the weather.
You had the weather radar going, didn't you, Gager? I know you.
I did. I didn't go full Doppler, but I did put Montreal on my iPhone just to see what it was looking like. There were clouds coming in, but no, I loved it. It was just fantastic, and the fact that they pitted the Mercedes battle is quite interesting to see. And what Toto was saying to Lewis, saying the car's back, but they throw the mediums on George, hards on Lewis, knowing what they're doing. There's kind of, well, let's make sure that George can pass him, because Lewis was saying, if I knew that, I would have stuck with a medium. So turmoil as Lewis leaves Mercedes off to the big red machine, which Ferrari just had a
touch on them,
Ferrari style weekend.
Classic Ferrari. All right, Gage, we'll talk to you on Two Guys, man.
Can't wait.
There you go. That is Joaquin Gage, brought to you by Pro-Am Sports. Gear up for the Stanley Cup with the official game and souvenir pucks and a cup patch the Oilers are wearing on their jerseys. Be just like them. Visit them today in Edmonton, in the corner, 128th Ave, St. Albert Trail, or online at proamsports.ca. Before we get into the wrap for William Huff, we got to get to That Hurts, brought to you by SBLLP. Albertans suffer personal injuries and accidents every single day, but many of you are too overwhelmed to seek the legal advice that you need. Just leave it in the hands of those who can look after you, the experts at SBLLP. Personal injury lawyers at SBLLP have the experience to gather the evidence, advance your claim, and to ensure you get fair compensation. And the best part is, you don't need to be intimidated by the process. Go to www.sb-llp.com. Just click on personal injury. Call 780-438-5281. No need to feel shame. Let SBLLP handle the claim. I want to see how good they are. I might fake an injury and be like, let's get some money from this. And then I'll see what's up. Like, I'm a member of the Florida Panthers. That would
HR Daddy earmuffs.
Yeah.
We don't.
Oh, look what happened.
He wouldn't be able to contain himself.
That'd be good. SB-LLP.com. Here's my question for That Hurts today. Eric, the Oilers coming home, down 2-0. Everything that happened down in Florida, injuries, the way the games went, blah, blah, blah. What hurts the most for Oilers fans with their team coming home down 2-0, or what hurts the most for the team coming home down 2-0?
It is the place to go because, again, we said yesterday not a must-win, and I said that. If yesterday was a game in which it was kind of a back and forth, all things go, much like Game 1, the Oilers, maybe out-shooting or high danger chance-ing the Panthers, something along those lines, but the way in which they lost last night in the variety of ways. So I think the thing that hurts the most coming out of that is, again, and it was a super stat of the evening in our morning after show, way back when at the beginning of today's show, is the shot output and lack of offense from this machine that
One
we
goal
watched.
in 2 games.
You can talk to me about the power play, and I get that. I think, again, we don't spend enough time talking about the opposition on this show and this program and this station. Florida Panthers have been doing some great things. They adjusted from game one. They got a win in game one. They didn't deserve, perhaps. They adjusted. Power play an issue. But again, you're looking at a roster here compiled with, again, some top-heavy offensive talent. 3 shots from McDavid, 2 from Draisaitl, 1 from Hyman, and that's it. I think that hurts. And when Ekholm is the lone goal scorer and on a shot that Bobrovsky would have back 9 out of 10 times, I think it hurts right now for Oilers fans. If you went down to Florida and put up some numbers and lost, I don't know, 4-3 games. I mean, a lot of these goals, the Panthers had 2 empty net goals, so the results have been tight.
Yeah.
They've been in the games. They haven't been getting blown out or whitewashed here. But the lack of being able to piss anything offensively, that's got to be the concerning point.
You know what I'm going to say hurts the most coming out of these 2 games? Is the fact that you played so well in game 1 and didn't get it.
That's why I was amazed with the confidence people coming out of that game, which,
Yeah.
again, I get you can look at their play. But at this stage in this series, if you don't take advantage of that night,
I think that's what hurts the most is that you played well enough that you should have won a game. I think Knobloch said that last night post-game. He goes, we played well enough. We should have come out of here with a split.
Yeah.
But you didn't.
And last night, too.
And that's what really hurts.
We talk about the PP. There's posts galore last night as well. You mentioned they had looks. There are things there to which you can say, okay, like series far from over. However, from 2 games in, it begins to become a bit of a theme and not just look, that's odd. Like now you're kind of, I don't know.
Whew, that hurts for the personal injury lawyers at SBLLP. Let them handle your personal injury, get you the return that you should be getting. Go to www.sb-llp.com. Click on a personal injury. Click on you can't miss it. It says personal injury, or you can just call them 780-438-5281 for the fine folks over at SBLLP. All right, let's get into Maddie. Who's on the hangout today? Where's this guy? Is he not over there? Is he ignoring me again? Okay. Reed Clark and a couple of Olympians. Okay. And what are they talking about? Olympic stuff? Oh, okay, yeah, the event coming. Okay, cool. Well, that'll be a fun discussion. That should be. Okay.
Bumped into Reed at the Elks tailgate there over the weekend. Had a nice chat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that was nice.
Excellent. Oh, Maddie, so they're popping on for like 10:15 type of thing? At 10:15. Oh, they're coming in at 10:15. Okay, cool. Sweet. Oh, that's going to be a fun hangout with a couple of Olympians coming in on the hangout today.
Where's the wrench?
The lock shop coming up at 11 o'clock. And, of course, 2 guys and a goalie today presented by GS Construction. For all of those, you'll have a chance to get in on the $100,000 hole-in-one presented by Golf Town. So be ready for that. Let's get into the wrap for William Huff. If you want your place to look as good as ours or as good as Commonwealth or as good as Rogers Place or as good as where pretty much any place in town where you watch sports, get it done with Bruce and the team over at William Huff. Check them out, www.williamhuff.com. They've been doing it since 1972, so you know you're in good hands. What did we learn on the show today, buddy?
Well, I learned that 58% of Canadians are not following the Stanley Cup. This, according to the Sports Network, and I learned also that you brought up the numbers from games 1 and 2, eerily similar to Grey Cup numbers. So we'll put that in our pocket for later. But learning again throughout the show, as we normally do here, Stuart Skinner, a bit of a problem for the Oilers, or one of many problems for the Oilers. Would you not agree?
Don't even. I mean, I did learn today that some people, like not a lot of you.
No.
Some of you are trying to say that Stuart Skinner's play has been an issue in this series. And I know I got fired up when I said it a little bit earlier on. I'm not going to get fired up again. I'm going to say calm and composed. And I'm just going to say that is the worst possible hockey take you could have so far watching the first 2 games of this series.
That's saying something.
But I said it calm and cool.
Yep.
So you can't get mad at me for getting fired up. But that's the worst take. Watch this series and tell me that Stuart Skinner's the reason the Oilers are down 2-0. Please. I mean, come on, guys.
He ain't subbing. But I might. It's almost like there's a lot of things. Again, as I said, tomorrow we might have a rankings-based system where we can put all of these things.
You're going to blame them. Blame everybody. I like
well,
it.
We'll see. Where does Skinner turn out on the rankings?
The weekly rankings of blame. I also learned today the 8 o'clock hour is not that good for likes and thumbs up. We're cruising along, changing 400 at the end of the 7 o'clock hour. We're still just sitting here at 480 today.
On a Gager day as well. A
what is
1K,
this?
the 1K man.
Was this some sort of hilarious joke that we're not going to hit 500 likes today? Ridiculous. Hammer the thumbs up before the end of the show. Sound of the day. I don't even know where we go. Where do we go for sound of the day today? What do we do?
The Turtle song. What about that City of Champions? I mean, I don't know.
That's tough after.
It's tough after.
You know what? Where is it?
You haven't played that yet since the finals have been on, have you? We
Wait,
rocked
which
it
one?
hard
Which
last
one?
week. Just the Kachuk Turtle song.
I
don't know if
haven't
maybe
played
you
it.
playing it would bring.
Do you think
something.
that's going to change
We're
things?
looking for a little magic or something. I don't know. I put your pants on different. That
They'll
type
walk
of thing.
around in the summertime. Yeah, I mean, should we do it?
We you know what? You might as well try something.
Where is it? I gotta find it here.
What's the worst that could happen, right? Maybe the Nurse song.
No,
for the hip.
Man, I'll be the guy who says it. They need Nurse to be healthy and play next game. This guy's been quiet though so far in the series. This guy's been quiet so far.
He's just a forward named Matt who plays for the Flames. A punk or a coward, a few of his names. He likes shooting and scoring and hits in the back. And when you're not looking, that's when he'll attack. He runs with his gloves, they're glued on his hands. Now it's pretty clear he's hated by fans. But sometimes that just ain't enough to keep a rat like him interested. Oh no, no way. No, he's got to go out and take runs at someone else's expense. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. He makes dirty hits we don't want in the game, then covers up his head and hides in shame. He's a turtle. He's a turtle. He's a turtle. Yo yo. He's a turtle. He aims for your back and then leaves his feet, while George and the league are saying, hey, that's sure neat. He's a turtle. He's a turtle. He's a turtle. Yo, yo. He's a turtle. He's a turtle. He's a turtle. He ducks and he runs to much safer spaces, while players with a sack are getting punched in their faces. He's a turtle. 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 Maybe we shouldn't be singing this song with Dowdy and Cassian singing along. Maybe he'll find it and prove us all wrong. Nah, he's a turtle. 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 He's a turtle.
That's you know what? That's a nice way. That's a nice way to wrap the show, I think. T-U-R. We'll see how it works. Weekly rankings of blame tomorrow from Lieutenant Eric.
Only 10?
As the series shifts. Tommy's in. Wearing the shortest of shorts. And got one of those nice green hats. I got to get one of those green hats still.
Yeah, me too.
Tommy,
I needs my money.
Tommy, come fist me.
Yeah.
Hey, Tommy.
You loved that yesterday. Little docking action.
That's my new thing. All right, so let's get to your text of the day today. Let's get the text of the day for A&W. You're going to win a gift certificate to A&W. Go get yourself a few Whistle Dogs. They're absolutely delicious. They're back for a limited time only. You were talking about Marshall Alomar. This is good. You see this one from the Edmontarian?
Is it Catch the Taste?
No. The Edmontarian says, Marshall Alomar. Get him to spit in the umpire's face, and he's a legend.
Yeah, I was waiting for us to go down there. Yeah.
That's your text of the day for A&W. Marshall Alomar. I'm gonna
one name, yeah.
I like the idea of
like
him
Prince.
being, who's your son? Oh, that's Marshall Alomar out there. Marshall, turn around and say the thing. Turns around. Catch the taste.
Whenever you say it, he knows what to do. Spins around, catch the
Mark,
taste.
say the thing.
One line.
Catch
Boom.
the taste. I want him to every time he gets on first base, I want him to get the first and go, catch the taste.
McCain's will be calling.
That
you
would be
here.
that'd be great.
Sponsorship on the way.
The Edmontarian, congratulations, buddy. You've won text of the day. Eric will be in touch. Somebody will be in touch, and we'll get you hooked up with that gift certificate to A&W. Parachuters inbox was a busy place today. Edmontarian, that's good. Marshall Lamar.
Real good, real good.
It's been a fun day here in the Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen studio. If you're looking to make plans for lunch today, may we suggest you go and get yourself one of the delicious Popeyes chicken sandwiches. You cannot go wrong with those bad boys. What are you watching tonight, buddy?
Tonight. Well, I'll be at the Riverhawks game. Yes, I'll be going to
Are you
Remax
going to the
Field.
game tonight?
Oh, hell yeah.
You're not going to listen to Coatsy on Edmonton Sports Talk?
I could, I guess. Now, this depends.
What?
Good
idea. Be
Bring
at the
the
game
little portable
listening to
radio.
Coatsy.
Bring the big headphones. Score it as you do. Weather providing. I mean, it could be another weird day. Partly cloudy, risk of a thunderstorm in the afternoon. Whatever. You can find me walking the River Valley in front of the Vic Golf Course. There, I'll be tromping up to Remax. Riverhawks and Kelowna Falcons, in which the Riverhawks took game 1 last night, 5-0. Hawks now 6-4 on the season. They're a game and a half back of the division-leading Apple Sox right now. We haven't reached these heights. Early on, I get it, but this is encouraging. So they look for the series win
big
tonight.
one tonight, yeah.
Tomorrow will be the 11 o'clock first pitch. School
Getaway
children,
day.
that type of thing. Yeah. So join me tonight. Hi and I, if you know.
Oh, that'll be good. All right, and if you can't wait, you should go to the game tonight. But if you can't, we have it for you right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. That walk-off win over the weekend. There's nothing like running out of a dugout after a walk-off win, and I know this as a U9 coach. Well. Right, we don't have dugouts in U9, but I'm making one at the Alexio Park there. I'm digging one. I'm going by today. I'm gonna dig our bench down into the dirt about 4 feet. Really are we playing ball or are we not playing ball here?
Play ball.
All right, that's going to do it for us today. Hangout is coming up next. I'll be back with the Lock Shop at 11, and 2 guys and a goalie. Should be a spicy 2 guys and a goalie today. Live at noon right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Tell your friends about EST. You can listen on EdmontonSportsTalk.com, on TuneIn, or on iHeart. Everything, of course, podcasted after the fact, and watch on YouTube with us every single day as well. We will be back tomorrow talking about the path to the Oilers getting back into this series, and who knows, from an injury update perspective and supplementary discipline perspective, maybe we got a few more things to talk about tomorrow as well. For Zach to come on the other side over there and Lieutenant Eric, I am Dustin Nielson. Thank you very much for the support. Subscribe to Edmonton Sports Talk.
Go to sleep.
Have a great day and take it easy.